Okay, good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Night Chat. Myself and you know this guy, Al Red Sox fan.
Hello, one and all.
It's been a while since we've had a chat, and so I says, "Hey, let's fire something up and talk." You know, we got a lot of things to catch up with people on. It's the middle of the summer. A lot of good things going with what we're playing with our channels, with our projects and things like that. New games we're playing. Took advantage of a couple of sales. I know you did. I know I did. And
I have to admit, that sale that Strat had for hockey, basketball, and football, the games. Now, I'm not going to talk about the basketball game because it doesn't work anymore.
It does. You know, that's the thing. It doesn't work for me.
That's too bad because I really did. I have to admit that was one of my favorite games. Period.
I liked it. It just took a long time to play.
Yeah,
but it helped me learn the game because I was able to read the cards and see what was happening on the cards. And the hockey game did that too. The hockey helped me learn the game too.
So
hey, Bruce is here. Hockey Unreal is here. Bears Den. We got a full house. New Jersey tabletop.
Appachatter. Yeah. Bruce and Hockey Unreal. Hello to one and all. But the I wasn't going to upgrade hockey because I'm a casual hockey fan.
I didn't upgrade either. I didn't.
And I didn't, not that there's ever a difference, but I do like the football games. They're fun. And who was it? It was, oh, crud. Steeler fan, 1933, Matt. And someone else, oh, God, they left me some nice messages on my football game just because I had some questions. Because I have not played, I did not play much Strat football when I was a kid because I didn't have it. My friends did, and they end up liking my old Tarkinen football game better because it was so quick, much quicker to play. And so we played a lot of that, played a little Strat. So I don't remember, what game was it? You had said, inside the crease hockey. If you know the card and dice game, but you're you went and you learned, you basically, in my opinion, you learned the card and dice game as you were playing the PC game.
Right.
So there were just some basic things. I was like, why does it do this? And I understand zone defense. I get it when you play in a zone. It doesn't mean you're covering everything. There's seams in the zone. If you ever watch me play pro strategy football and I have a decent defense, I never play zone. I hate zone defense. I play man. I'll take, but that was a good sale. I enjoyed it. I picked it up, football and pro in college because they split it up. But yeah, that was a good sale. Have you played it yet?
Yeah, I picked up the football game. It was $22.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, Larry. I didn't get the card images because I watched a couple of videos because it was like a 24-hour sale. So it's like you got to make up your mind right away. And actually, I was at the gym, and because I'm
going to tell you a funny story when I bought my. Go ahead, because this is going to be similar. I'm telling you right now.
We haven't been playing hockey because the rink's having problems. And then with July 4th. So I've been off the skates. I've only been on the skates a couple times in a month. So I started going to the gym. I'm like, my knees healed up. I'm going to rehab it at the gym. So I go to the gym and I got my little routine going now. And I've been going. I think I went 5 or 6 times this week, including today.
Yeah,
I do some of the machines.
You did the rowing machine one time.
I do the rowing machine every time. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking to be He-Man, but I just want to tone up. I got a bad shoulder, so I'm trying to strengthen that. So I do all the machines once, legs and arms and everything. And then I sit on the rowing machine, and sometimes I've done up to an hour on the rowing machine.
That's really good. That is
your bum is so sore from sitting on that thing. It's like it's all pins and needles. But so today I did. So I was on the rowing machine the other day, and I'm just like rowing, and so Ron calls me, and I don't go very fast, so I'm not huffing and puffing. So I take my phone, I take the call, and he's like, "Hey, Strat's having a sale. It's half off on the PC games."
Yep.
So I was like, "Oh, thanks for letting me know." So I went home and I checked it out, and I watched some videos, and I watched. I think Sportsman Z, maybe it was him, but I know you had one too, and you were the only one using the dice rolls and the cards.
I like it.
I thought about it, but I was like, you know something? Ron made a good point. He goes, for $22, you can try the game out. And then I was like, you're right. And then if I really, really like it when they come out with a new one, I get it with the card images, and I spend some money and I invest. But I says, at least I can try it out.
You're right.
And because I tried it out. It takes. I saw you play your game, and it's fun watching the dice roll. So I like doing that in hockey. But boy, I tell you, it really extends the length of the game.
Yeah,
and I think the football is the one game that I think is very different than the hockey results, the basketball results, and the baseball results. For some reason, maybe it's just me because I have the football card game, and I never even got it off the ground. I was like, oh, forget it. I just think the football, reading the cards in football, I think is just so different because there's so many players involved.
And there's a lot of different options because if you have the right X amount of guys, that's why I think Steeler Fan 1933, and for some reason I can't remember the other person who watches my channel all the time, and I feel bad now. But they said, hey, that you can only have this many men in that. It made sense. I mean, again, when I'm saying things, it's not so much I don't understand the game engine. It's I don't like the terminology where it goes great call. Just say 4 men in the zone. Because when I see great, now I know great call doesn't mean great call. Because Jim Plunkett could find a seam in the zone. Brian Sipe could find a seam in the zone. And but for $22, and I didn't even think of that because if you didn't get the card images,
yep,
you know, that's
I got to try it. I'm playing it, and like I said, I've watched your stream with the card image and streams without the card image, and I'm weighing it out. I'm like, because I know, and I talked to Ron about this. I says I will never play this game, Cards and Dice. Okay, just because it's a 2-player game, and I'll never find somebody to play it with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna. And I love strat games, but boy, their seasons are very picky and finicky. So that's a whole nother discussion, maybe for later on tonight.
After I'm more liquored up.
Yeah, but so I was like, I will never play the Cards and Dice version, so I don't care about the cards. I just want to check it out. I like how you get the little illustration to call the plays, and the animation is pretty smooth. Although I sometimes can never figure out if it's I'll call a pass, and it's like, oh, they handed it off instead, and it's like, oh, the pass is incomplete. It's like, wait a second. I rewind it, and I go, holy cow.
Could have been a little quick hitter.
Yeah, you really got to be right up to the screen and watching that.
You can slow down the animation. It's up to you.
Yeah.
I have it at a level. Again, when I play strat games, it's because I'm in a card and dice mode in my head. And I am like
too.
To see the dice.
This one is not so much cards and dice for me as it is. I just wanted to try it out and compare it to all the other football games
you're
that
gonna
I got.
have fun with it because they have that easy mode where you just go, I want to run.
Yep. That's what I did. Yep.
It's. I don't mean it's easy mode. I mean play calling.
Yes. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Just you click on the picture menu.
You can set your. It's a well done game. I have to be. I enjoy it a lot.
Although I couldn't figure out how to start a game.
I heard you talking about that with Ron on Digital to Dice. And I actually started, Teresa was laughing at me because I started talking to the screen like you guys could hear me. You have to go launch new game, not launch new internet game.
Well, it come up, the box come up, and I could pick my teams from my available season, which is fine because I took the 1981 season. So I set up an exhibition game, and then I'm like, launch lobby. I don't want to launch a lobby. Send a message. I don't want to send a message. Find an opponent. I don't. I just want to play it myself. And I had to go into the directions to figure out how to. And then I saw the launch button, but the launch button was it was in an area you wouldn't think it should be.
You have to go below it, and it says launch game. You think it's probably. I did the same thing, like in that little square. You don't want to launch the game in there because that's internet.
It's so finally I was able to get a game going.
Yeah, fun game. People seem to like it, to watch it, and my streams are not short. They're not. None of my streams are short. That's the way I am. But it's something enjoyable about watching me get hosed on dice rolls. When I'm sitting there going, this guy ain't making a field goal. He's not going to roll a 2. Son of a, he rolled a 2, and I lose a game.
Yeah, you and the kickers have become somewhat of a legend online in sim games. Just the bad kickers just follow you around.
Even if I have a good kicker, I'm saying, oh, he's not going to shank this.
Is it wrong that sometimes when some of us watch your football streams,
you're rooting for my kickers to miss? I know it.
I didn't say it out loud, but I was gonna.
I know you guys. The chat gets ecstatic when my kickers miss.
Because it's a thing. It's a thing.
I don't know how much because it was late. I felt like playing. I wasn't tired. And my vacation's coming to an end, after tomorrow. I was like, I'm going to play a game. I'm not tired. And I don't care if anyone watches. I want to record this because I'm going to beat the freaking strat engine finally, right? And I took the Cleveland Brown playoff game that they lost against the Raiders in 8. Great playoff game, too. I remember watching it. And I'm like, okay, let's think back what happened in real life, because Strat is really mimics real. I'm not throwing to my wideouts for a while. I'm going to dump to my back for a long time.
Yeah.
Then the Strat engine was really good with it, though. Then they finally clamped down on that. Okay, now over the top, right?
Yeah.
But I had Mike Pruitt going in for a touchdown. It's going to be he's going to get stopped at the 2. It's going to be 1st and goal. He fumbled the ball. I'm like, oh my God. And then I pulled my own red right 88. I was down on the goal line. I said, I'll throw it to the corner. Picked off. I'm like, unbelievable. Al, did you not just talk about to yourself before you played the game? You have to understand, I actually thought about it. Do not throw the ball down on the goal. And what does Al, Red Sox fan, do? Throw the ball down on the goal. I'm going to beat him on this play. No. It was a fun game.
You went late. I don't know. It was last night or the night before. Because like I said, because I was off.
Back up. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was because I didn't have to work today, so I'm usually in bed early on a Friday night because I have to work Saturday morning. But I was off, so I played late. I did something late last night. Oh, and I'll tell you what I did later. So you were on, so I went to bed and I had you on. And I was listening, and I was and I get up and I took a pee and I come back to bed and the iPod's still on, and I'm like, and I look, it's 2:30 and Al's still playing. So I was like, all right, I'll listen to the end of the game.
Life is short. I'm going to enjoy. But yeah, that was a really good sale for Strat. I tip my cap to them. I actually had because I had not bought Strat in a while. You had difficulty launching a game. Loading a season to me is it's not this easy
No, it's weird.
But it's weird. It's different. Okay.
Well, it's like anything else. Once you learn it, then you do. But the problem is, it's like I don't buy Strat seasons that often. So like when I go to buy one, it's like, oh boy, how do I do this again?
I actually emailed them and go, hey, where's my season? Right?
Yeah.
Because I bought this. What happened? I said, because I've had issues with Strat PC games. I said, I'm going to buy the college football first. If it works, it fixes that glitch or the double kickoff, that's why I never stream the college football, which again is fun, right? Mm-hmm. But it's a double kick. I don't even know how to explain it except one team gets a double kickoff. That's the only. It's mind numbing. They knew this was a problem. First they said no, and then they come out with this year's version. And they go, we fixed the glitch, like Office Space. We fixed the glitch. I'm like, okay. When I emailed them, oh no, that's not a problem. That's your computer, right? But anyway, so I get it, and it worked. Now, a similar story that you said you bought the game when you were at the gym at the end, right as the sale's coming to the end.
Yep.
Nurse Teresa and I went to Ledyard in Connecticut to go play bingo on Wednesday. And I bought the college game. I'm like, son of a gun. They haven't emailed me back on a question I had, right? Because I didn't see the season. I didn't see the college season. I said, I'm not buying that other game because I swear to God, if they get money out of me in the freaking game, I get pissed. I bought the basketball game twice thinking if I bought it again on my new PC, whatever error I was getting, it should have worked. They said no. So I emailed them back. I said, listen, just look at my account. I spent a lot of money with you guys, right?
They don't care, and they don't care.
Just give me a gift certificate or something, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay, whatever. So when they were very nice. They got back to me quick. Hats off to them. And then as soon as he said this, oh yeah, that's how you, because I'm like, where's my season? And I went to a spot where I thought I was supposed to load it, and it wasn't. But I was at bingo in the men's room. I got the email on my phone. I went, so I jump on, I went, I ordered the Pro, and I got 1960, which wasn't on sale. The seasons were on sale.
No.
Come out, and Teresa's like, why are you smiling? She goes, did you buy something? I'm like, yep.
I'd love to see you were talking about the bingo. I would love to see you broadcast bingo. That'd be hysterical. And now here we go. Edna's so close. A 4. If she gets a 4, she's got it. It's a 5. It's so close. And now Rita over here has a chance to steal this one from Edna. And Edna's pounding her fist on the table. There's chips going everywhere.
I came 3 or 4 times. I was down to 1. Because of the way they play. It's not just one across. And Teresa loves bingo. We were leaving. She goes, you're not going to come back for another whole year because she likes to go every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, it's not. But the payoffs, I can see why people do it. The payoffs you got a shot to win some decent money.
Yeah.
Not for me, but anyway, yeah, I was in the men's room at Bingo when I bought the second Strat football.
When I got inside the crease.
Yep.
I decided to buy it, and I was so excited to buy it that I was actually, this is a couple months ago when we were playing hockey. I'm at the rink, and I went on my phone, and I bought it because I was like, okay, I'd like to see if he can get me the codes when I get home instead of me ordering it.
Because
they take a while.
Email that to you, I think.
Yeah, it takes a few hours, yeah. So I think it was like 8 or 9 o'clock. I ordered the game in a couple seasons, and then actually when I did get home 3 or 4 hours later, it was sitting there for me. So I was like, oh, good, you know.
I tell you the thing, when you order a game and you're waiting for an email, and like I do things similar like that you did, Dave. If I'm at work and it's lunchtime and I'm thinking about a game, so you order it, and I get home, I'm like, I want to play. I'm like, where the hell's my email?
Yeah.
I'll email the people. I go, listen, I emailed you a day ago.
Yeah, you get excited for it. You do. It's like waiting for a package to come in, you know?
That's the great thing about Dave Cook games. Instant.
Strat was instant too, I got to say, too.
Strat's instant too, except, like I said, I couldn't. It has been so long.
I'm the same way, you know. I think I talked to Ron actually for a minute when I was at the gym, and I was like, you know, Ron, as much as it's only $22, and then I think I got a season, so I think it was $49 total because you got to get
$27 for a season. Yeah, early '80s, right?
81.
Ooh, good season, good.
Yeah, and that's what I recommend people, because when people are telling me, oh, I'm going to buy Shootout or I'm going to buy App or whatever it is, you know, I say, look, get a season, and I know it's more money, but I says
that's going to help you play it.
You will, if you just get 2 teams that you don't know that are generic teams that come with the game, and this is like what Ron suggested too.
Yeah.
There's no connection there. But so when I played Apple Hockey, the very first time I played Apple Hockey, and I took out 2 teams that I knew, I had Mario Lemieux, and I think I had like Brett Hull and Adam Oates. I had St. Louis and Pittsburgh. I knew everybody on the team, and that drew me into APA. That made me want to play that game because I knew now if I played teams I didn't know, I might have not continued on with APA. But
that's a great.
So idea. I always tell people, if you're gonna try out a game, get one season you know, play with the guys you know, because you'll be familiar with it, and it'll be at least a little more fun off the top, and it might give you that little push to continue.
Yeah, because if you come in a new game and you come across something that's a bump in the road to you, you might stop and go, it's aggravating. But if you're playing with teams you like, players you like, you kind of want to keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I and even though I was obviously like anything else, the first couple of games you play, they're wrong, and you screw up a lot. But I mean, you know, I got a goal by, I think Yager scored a goal, and that was cool. And then Brett Hull scored a goal, and that was cool. Now, if I had 2 guys score a goal that I didn't know, it's not nearly as cool as the people that you do know. You're not familiar with it, you know? So it's like, yeah, Brett Hull scored a goal. That was pretty cool. You know, I can envision that, you know? But when you get teams you don't know, yeah, so I always suggest get a team. So I got 81 with that. And I started up the 81 season. I think I'm going to play the Patriots and the Buccaneers. I think I got halfway through the first quarter of one game. I think
here's the good news. Strat does a nice job just for football, saving it. All you go back in.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and it will. And like Action PC, it will sim games for you.
Yep.
So
that's
you can just
one downside,
pick and choose.
In my opinion, and I've only played inside the games, the demos. And the one downside, I think IP Gesture talked about it too, or a downside for me. They don't sim games. You have to play every game.
There's a
sim engine in
There's a few people that were talking about that on the hockey forum of Inside Sports.
I think it actually hurts. I think it actually hurts their purchases.
I think it does too, because you have to play but their thing is like, this is a cards and dice port. That's great. But so it's a PC game, and you would get so much more. I'm telling you, Inside the Crease would be my go-to PC hockey game.
Yeah,
if you could simulate other games. So if I could just go and pick the game of the day or the game of the week or just one team, and then everything else was sim, like you can do with Strat and you can do with Action PC, because they both will do that.
Replay?
Well, yeah, they don't have a hockey, but yeah, replay basketball. I'm playing the Celtics. Everything else is simmed. So you're playing your team, but you can see your team's stats compared to everybody else whose games are simmed. Where if that doesn't happen, There's no other stats to be had. So yeah, so if that would be, I love that game because it does things that Dave likes, not necessarily a lot of people like, but Dave likes that game for the things that it does.
Made a great point. Again, the inside games. I've watched people play the card and dice baseball. I've watched baseball demos. RJL 518, our good friend Rob, and Anthony from Bleacher Bums Gaming. Glory Days Boxing tabletop. Bring it near you. And they really enjoy it. But that's the cards, right?
Yeah.
When I got the demo, I think we had talked about it before, and you've changed on this. We had said it's whack-a-mole. I didn't understand. And again, I didn't have the patience. Because when I get a game, I kind of want to – Strat I know because I played as a kid baseball. I had to just refresh my memory. But that one – you really have to, you took your time learning it. You literally broke it down, and you answered some people's questions too, who had some questions about it. You did a nice job you did another video. What the heck was it called? Like you slowed it down and you said,
I did a couple. Yeah, I did one for the golf game inside the cup.
That's the one. That's the one.
And then I did one for. I don't know if I done. I think I've done inside the crease. I think I slowed down that. I think if not, then I would. No, I did. I think I did because what was neat is the guy Bill who designed the game actually commented on it. So he watched it and he goes, "I like the video. Well done. One suggestion though on the penalty to Sanderson, blah 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 blah. Because how they do their penalties is kind of weird. So you have a delayed call, but." Then you check for the penalty, so it might not be a penalty. So I suggested, let's find out if it's a penalty right off the bat. And then if it is, pull the goalie, get the extra attacker out, and then play it till the other team touches up like real hockey. That's how I would do it, Yeah. And he was and I think what they want to do is just immediately have a whistle. And I get it that you're playing 20 seconds at a time, so the other team somehow they touch the puck. I get anything can happen in a 20 or 30 second frame. But to make it more like hockey, that's what I did. So but he did like the video, and that was good. The Inside the Cup one was saying, you know what I did with Inside the Cup, the golf game? Now, that's really, really funky, okay? Because Action PC Golf does a way better job of their tournaments and playing the guys, and you can just watch and then stop. I think you can play the hole. Everybody plays the hole.
I have never shot par in that game.
Yeah, but the problem with the Action PC Golf is it does everything right, but when you want to actually play it, it is not a casual game. It is a deep game, and that's good if you like a deep game. But if I want to sit there, put up my feet, and just play like this at night, and I'm sitting there, I did it the other night. I took a couple of golfers, and I started playing, and I got to the ninth hole, and I was like,
I think I watched it on replay though.
I says I'm done. I says I played 9 holes.
I'm done. I stopped.
I'm just not having fun. And this is all the
7 or 9 holes. I don't remember.
I got to 9. I says okay. I says we're gonna call it at 9 because I'm getting a little because I had one guy on the rough and 3 times it took him to get it on the green from the rough. It's like he could have kicked it with his shoe and get on the green, So it's just like I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
I think because we only play it once in a while, it's a game you have to play. At least for me and you, or me, I'll speak for me. I have to play more often because there are little things you can do to help better.
Yeah.
Don't swing bring it. I think ID Gesture did a video a few years back, 2 years I think, where he was talking about, or Ron. I think Ron did one too. You bring instead of going to the target, you bring it back just a little bit and things like that. I've had fun playing it.
Yeah, no, Ron brought that up too. He went through a round and he showed how this and that. And he tries to, what Ron tries to do is he explains it. Look, not everybody hits the fairway. And he goes, we're all used to playing the old golf games where everything's down the middle and you're on the green and you get a birdie and you're minus 50 at the end of the tournament. He says this game's not like that. Is that if you watch real golf, they're spraying it all over the place, and I get it. But it just seemed like it was either too much for me or it just wasn't fun. And I guess it comes down to the fun factor. That game wasn't fun. Inside the Cup, as less complicated and less deep, and it's kind of clunky how it does tournaments. When I sit and I roll the dice and I follow it around, I have fun because I'm playing the cards and dice version. That's what you do.
That's what matters.
Yeah. And what I did too last night, while you were playing your game there, when you're playing those Inside the Crease games, it shows you the card. And Inside the Cup too. So what I did is I showed the course, and I printed out the course, and it shows you like how many birdies, bogeys, and whatever. And then I printed the cards. I took 20 of my favorite golfers from 2006. I called their card up on a screen. I screen captured them, and I printed them out. So now I have the 2 courses I printed out, so it tells me like all 18 holes and whatever it is. And then I printed out there's the player cards. So I have the computer game, but what I did is I printed out 20 golfers, the courses, and now I can play the cards and dice version on the table here.
That's cool.
And so what I'm gonna do is I was gonna do it today, but it got away from me. Is I'm gonna take the 20 golfers and I'm gonna roll dice and go round by round. I'll play 2 rounds round by round, and I'll make a cut, and then I'll do a round 3, and then I'll make either final cut.
Though.
Yeah, tabletop. Yep.
Tabletop.
I can do it right on the table here, or I can do it in Excel. But this is all cards and dice. And then what I'll do is I'll take the best 4, 6, 8 golfers and go hole by hole and finish the tournament. But that's all from the PC game though. So it's great how it's a PC port of the cards and dice, and because you can cut and paste and print it out, I didn't steal it. I bought it. You know, and so
I thought about doing that for the 1976 season, just for Mark Fidrich's starts for Strat. Why they don't offer that card and dice, I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? So can you play Skins game?
No. In the computer with this particular game, you can only play stroke and match.
Okay. Skins games one of my
favorites.
Oh,
again, Action PC is deep. So is the one Ron likes, ASG. Ron likes ASG. Now, I looked into that too. I've tried that a few times, and one.
I got the demo. It's okay, but
that's what I have.
It didn't do it for me.
It still hasn't done it for me. Ron actually walked me through a few holes and what to look for. Ron likes it.
I love listening to his golf. I love listening to everything, but I love his golf.
Yeah, so he walked me through a couple things, and it made a lot more sense.
Sports Time Machine.
I just wish that the one thing that irks me about it, because it's almost Apple-like, is that you roll the dice, and it's 11 to 66, and it gives you a number, and then it shows you like where the shot went and the distance and a whole bit. So I started to understand it. What I didn't like though is it gives you a number at the top of the screen and says, okay, this is like a good shot, this is a medium shot, this is a bad shot, and it gives you a number. But what it does is it breaks down the percentages. So what is there? Is it 36 rolls? 11 to 66 is 36. It says that 4 out of the 36 will be a bad shot. Well, which 4? You know what I mean? So basically your 4 highest rolls are bad. So if you rolled like a 23 and it gave you a number of 46, and that's your highest number, well, that's one of them. And then if you rolled a 33 or 32, whatever it is, well, that's a 35. Well, that's your 2 highest. Yeah. No, I would rather just say, look, anything below a 25 result is bad or good, whatever it is. Well, so that way you could roll the dice, you could look at the cards right there, so you could look at, I got a 22, that's good. But you don't know if 20 is too good because that might be the second highest number on the card. So that kind of turned me off a little bit because I like to follow along with the cards and dice, and I can't do it with that game.
When I have card and dice, and Big Paulie says, I actually did get the early bird special for the golfer because I was upgrading and it was on sale anyway.
I haven't yet.
$15.
I haven't yet. After the other night, and I know there's a lot of things they added to it.
Dave, I blame it on you because you're like, I'm going to get this, and then I bought it, and then you're like, I'm not getting this. Like, God.
I don't know. I mean, for $15, you almost have to.
I did for 15.
You almost have to. You know what I mean? But because they added a lot of things supposedly, but the game itself is just frustrating as all heck to play.
The thing I like about Action PC Golf, and that's really the only golf game I've played. And again, I've done the demo of the one Ron plays.
Yeah, ASG,
from ASG. It's okay. It's good. It's just not my thing right now.
It's not my thing right now, yeah.
I love the soccer game. I just played that.
I was watching you play that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I set up this match, right? And I'm pretty sure obviously I didn't, but I thought I set it up for overtime, what they call the golden goal. If you go to overtime, first goal wins, and then if you don't score, penalty kicks. So now I have this epic match. It was really a lot of fun. I'm into it, right? And now it's like, okay, we're going to overtime. And the game ends 0-0. I'm like, oh my God. This is, I need a winner. So I came back. I tried to do it the right way, but I said, you know what? Worst case scenario. I set it up as a tournament this time. Okay. You have to put 4 teams in a tournament. Doesn't matter. I'm just playing. I know there has to be a winner. Okay. So I set it up again. And I said, as I started the second video a little hours later, after Teresa and I had to do something, and then we ate, I explained what happened. I said, whoever scores the first goal wins. And if we go, it'll be set up to play golden goal and then, penalty kicks. But it was fun. That's a fun game. Again, they do a really nice job of taking a board game and bringing it to PC. And the other great thing that ASG Games do with their PC games, you can get a lifetime demo. You can sit there and just play and play and play. Even with the demos, you can do that with golf. I think you can have a lifetime demo with golf.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, because I've had it for a while now, and I can still play
tennis.
I get the tennis too. Yeah.
Ron said this, and I totally agree. And I don't play it a lot online, and I should. Their shot-by-shot tennis game is utterly phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's riveting. It's fun because there's strategy in it. What do you want to do? And you look at the role. Very easy to understand. That's the other thing. With their soccer game, you don't have to be a soccer guru. It's basically, here's your role. If you roll 85 or under, your pass is good, or your run that you make with the ball, dribbling the ball is good. It's pretty easy to understand. You don't have to be a soccer guru. You know
what I was watching today is because I've been really liking the inside sports games, and we gave them some crap for a long time on the show. But once I actually got it and played it, it's like, wow, this is way different than what it looks like, because it's not really the whack-a-mole that you thought it was. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Football game?
The hockey one is I really like, but you know what I was watching? I was watching ID play it actually today. It was on tape, obviously, from a few. But the inside volley tennis from inside sports.
I forgot that they did that.
Now he and someone else were playing an Excel version of it, like an Excel helper. Okay, and I followed that, and I'm telling you, within 30 seconds, I knew how to play that game.
Cool.
Because what it does, it's kind of neat. So you roll the dice, and I think it's a 1 to 100. Yeah. And so you got, let's just say you got Federer and Nadal. All right. So Federer serves. You roll the 1 to 100. It's going to say it'll be like 1 to 20, and then in parentheses like 21 to 32 or something. So your first serve, if it's 1 to 20, Federer or whoever serves controls the shot. If it's in the parentheses, it's the other guy controls. Cool. If it's a higher than both, then that means it's the second serve. Okay, so you might have 1 to 20, and then 21 to 32, and then 33 to 60, and then 61 to 100. If you follow that, so you get 1 to 100, but it's broken up.
So it's easy to understand.
Yeah. So you just look at what number it is, and it tells you what serve and what card to look at. Then you have the 2 6-sided dice, and you go to the grid, and the grid will either say W or L, like win the point, lose the point. Sometimes it's a split, and it'll be first serve or second serve because the serve is busted. So
is there rallying back and forth or no?
No, it's just a point by point. So ID was playing it, and there was someone else that was playing it too, and the helper was kind of neat. So you'd click, it would show the number. You'd say, okay, it's going to be his first serve, and it's going to be off the server's card, and it's going to be a 3-4, and he got the point. So good, Federer gets the point. And I'm not even a huge tennis guy, but I was able to follow the game. Now I want to get it. I'm like, this is great.
ID Gesture is saying he remembers that. He's in the chat, so he's saying ID shows off a lot of games on his channel, and that is really helpful to the community. Mm-hmm. Just like we have Kirk Berglund will show off a lot of different baseball games.
Oh yeah, he's
you have
a
lot of
people,
guy. Tony Porter, C&D TV. They like to show off different, and there's more people too who show off, and I forget things. But it's always good to find, if you're looking for a sports sim, I like to see it being played.
I do too. Yeah,
that's the only way. If I want to even take a shot at it.
I
You
like to
know?
see it in action. I like to see what graphics I'm like, and I did that with video games too, because someone would be like, "Hey, check out this new great video game," and you look, and like there's stuff going everywhere, and you're like, "No, I'm not going to play a game like this," you know. And I'm the same way with stuff there. Although I will say that sometimes you get a wrong first impression, and that's
Yeah.
how I was with Inside the Creases.
Inside again because you turned around on that.
I watched that
I
and
think
watched that and
because
watched that.
you watch videos that you know what I had the epiphany with Replay Baseball. ID Gesture played it. King Icky Boo played it.
Yep.
I'm missing someone else. I know that, and I apologize. But those were the videos I went back because I always loved I love the presentation for Card and
Oh,
Dice.
jeebus, yeah,
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Okay, to me. Okay, it's just a little animation, and you get the photos, and the photos you hit the button, everything
All full
downloads.
color and
Yeah, just nice.
like that
And
basketball game is my favorite basketball game.
it's easy to understand. Now, I wish my strat worked because I really did like that game a lot. But yeah, I went back and with Replay, that's the one where I had my epiphany. It was a King Icky Boo video, and he goes, "I'm going to explain this a little more." And I remember ID Gestured. So then, after watching that, I said ID Gesture did a couple of videos explaining the game. So I had to go back and find him on his channel. I did.
And that's what I try to do, and that's what some people do. Is like I'll watch a video, and it's like, well, I'm really not following. And then all of a sudden, somebody, whether it's ID or you or somebody, will say, "Let's slow this down." And I've been trying to do that on my channels. Whereas I'll play a game, and I'll say, "You know something? Let me slow it down and just try to show you what I'm doing." And that is the most helpful video that anybody can do, because in the crease, in all those games, you have people like, "Here's why I'm hitting this, and here's why I'm hitting that, and here is this," and I'm like, and then you start going, "Oh, okay," and then the guys just walk you through it, and no matter what game it is, it's like, wow, that is just, yes, now I get it, you know. And the replay, I love the Replay Baseball, and I love the Replay Basketball. I'm playing that Celtics season there with that. I don't know anything about basketball, and I don't need to. I roll the dice, I put everything on automatic, and I follow it along, and I can follow it, and I like it.
I do the same thing that you do in basketball, but I will make the decisions. I don't do the subs. I could if I want, but I find I enjoy. I play as a team. I'm not playing any season. I have the great team. I have a few seasons, but I'm playing as a great teams. They have one great team set. And I just play a game here and there. I don't put it on. I put it on my channel once, but it's fun. The baseball, the way I looked at it, and I give hats off to you, because you had said something regarding a totally different game, and I went, click. I emailed them. I go, "Is there a way that I can get the charts?" Because you mentioned something. I don't even think it was. Maybe it was Replay Baseball, but they emailed back. They go, "Yeah, you can print your charts off." Or maybe it was Uncle Ron. I asked the question.
Yeah, Replay includes the chart in there. Now they don't include the rare charts for baseball and thing. It may be basketball. You do have to print those out. Although I think in basketball, Ron suggests to turn off the rare charts anyway.
Yeah. So what I did was I printed up the charts. Then I did my own cheat sheet, because I didn't need to know everything. I just need to know what's good, what's bad, what the columns are for, which that's what ID Gesture and King Icky Boo helped explain in their videos. For Replay Baseball, this is my basic dumbed down version. 1 and 2 are better for the pitcher.
Yep. Replay Baseball. I printed out the chart, so if I want to follow along, column 1, column 2, 5, 6, you know, whatever I need to do. The bunt play is here. The action chart for the baseball is here. Yeah, I did that, and I also did that with the basketball game too. And I love that because that was a little bit easier than the baseball for some reason, you know. And you can just follow that.
You can honestly sit there. I can honestly say, in my opinion, you could know nothing about that game. It's telling you, as you're playing, what kind of decisions do you want to do this, or do you want to do that, or this? If you get this roll, this is what's going to happen. Very well done game. The baseball game, the way, again, I dumbed it down for myself. 1 and 2, better for the pitcher. Doesn't mean the pitcher's going to have it. The better the pitcher, obviously, you hit 1 and 2, the more success they're going to have. Columns 3 and 6, better for the hitter. 6 being the bippity boppity boom column, the big hits. Column 4 being infield defense. Column 5, pitcher control. And that way, and then when you roll, you kind of start remembering I'm okay. Seriously, I can drive. Never drive intoxicated. And I'm not intoxicated anyway. But that's the way I did it for me. And I have a dumbed down chart. When I play offline, I actually look at my dumbed down chart. When I play online, I know pretty much when I roll something. And then they have that simulcast. I never thought I'd love that.
Oh man, that is fun. That is fun.
That you could just go to another game.
And you can set that too. I don't know. I think you can in baseball too. Is you can set the parameters for that. So like in basketball, yeah. So what you can do is before you play the game, you set up the simulcast, and you can stagger the games, or you can have them all start at the same time. Okay, so I used to stagger them. So I get the West Coast games or whatever. But it's like now it's like I think I want them to all play at the same time. So when I'm playing my game, I get the whole night at the same time. It's not as realistic, but again, do I really need to? Yeah, do I really need to be in the first quarter of the Lakers game if I'm playing the Celtics at home? You know what I mean? I'd like to see, so that way there, so you can set it for like 2 minutes to go in the game or 1 minute to go in the game. If it's within 4 points, stop simulating.
And then you can go to it.
So you look up and you'll see all the scores, and you'll see some games that are like lit up with like a yellow or a red. That means that they've stopped because they met your criteria, and that game will wait for you. So when you're done your game, now you can go say, let's go to L.A. where the Lakers lead by 3 with a minute to go, and then you can play that out. Or you could just say sim it or whatever, but I like that.
Same thing with 2nd and 10 football, and Christopher Slovic does that to perfection. I love the stuff he does. He does these really well thought out projects on 2nd and 10, just interesting ideas. And I'll get ideas, I have my own crazy ideas, but I'll watch you guys and I'll say, okay, I can do something similar,
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing about the community.
Yeah.
You get these ideas like, it's been a lot of fun to do your NHL playoff project. I'll be doing a game soon, I guess. Game 2.
Yeah, game 2 of Boston, New York Islanders at the Bruins. Yeah,
I'll have it up this week shortly, because what I'm going to do is what I did with my series. I went to see, because the Kings actually didn't win. So what I did was I looked at the series they actually played in, who played, and those were the people I made active. And
I tried to do that too. Yeah,
I did the same thing for the Bruins. So what I'll do is I'll keep everyone active that I had for the Bruins, and then I'll go see who was active for the Islanders when they played the playoffs, and I'll get that set up to play the second game probably Tuesday Tuesday night.
Okay.
Or if I can get it set up, I can probably do it Monday. It takes me a little longer when I start setting up things because I start to get especially because it was your project. I wanted not to have guys who played like 3 minutes in the playoffs.
I started to do that, and I was like, it's so hard with hockey. I just made sure I got the goalies right. I just made sure I didn't put in a third stringer.
I could not. No, I did. Was it Hockey Reference, and then somewhere else I went, and I just looked at the playoff series who played. That's all.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
And I went active, inactive. You didn't play, and then I got mixed up. You know how hockey does their seasons.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this guy didn't even play, and then I'm like, Al, calm down before you f-bomb the computer and smash it. Because I was getting mad. I'm like, this guy, he's not on the roster. Where the hell is this guy, right? I clicked on the season above it instead of the right season.
Yeah, I've done that too. It's like, what's going
on?
Okay,
now this makes sense. Error.
Shocking. I did a the California Seals final ever game.
Yep, I haven't watched that yet, but yeah,
they played the Kings, so I figured I would do that to take a break from from the project and just do something a little bit different. And so I set that up and Inside the Crease, I think it was, and I played that. And I did too. I went to Hockey References. Actually, I had to go to I went to NHL.com and went back to the actual game because they put in the box score of the game. And some of the more popular players from the Seals did not play that final game, and some of their better guys didn't play. And I was kind of bummed because, like, man, this is a good guy, and he's not playing.
That's why when I play something, I always say now, when I'm playing a game, like this is a one-off, I put, for me, so I don't get the questions, alternate replay. I'm just going to play it. Yeah. I want to play it with the guys I want to play with. I'm not going to go back. This guy didn't play in the game. That guy didn't play. It's an alternate.
I usually don't, but for that one there, I did kind of want to get as many as I could to say, okay, if you didn't play, then you. And in fact, they didn't even play their best goalie, I don't think, or their more popular goalie at the time. So I just said, okay, we'll go with this, and it was a fun game actually. The Seals went up like 3-0. And then they ended up losing 6-5, like in the last minute of the game, and they had a shot at the end. The Rogie Vachon made the save, and that was a fun game.
What would you do, just to talk about franchise manager hockey for a moment? What would you? Obviously, I'd like them to fix the chalkboard.
If you haven't played it in a while, it is a lot better.
Is it? Because I haven't played it.
Now they have stopped working on this version, and they're working on Franchise Hockey Manager 8, and they've already said that unless something major happens, and they'll do a hot fix. But the chalkboard from where it was to where it is better. Now, is it Action PC? No, it is not. But when you think about like how bad it was, and I hate to use the word bad because
it just needed to be tweaked more.
It needed to be better. And when we had Jeff on, and he said, "Yeah, we want to make it like the baseball game. We really do, but it's going to be."
Incredible.
But the baseball game didn't start off like that. It started off like this. So he said, basically, give it some time to work itself out because it's a smaller team working on hockey. And but yeah, I would say just for the heck of it is go back and play a period and just watch it there and now, realize
they shut off the old way of just.
Yes, they did. And
I actually was gonna do a radio call of just a Bruins against somebody, because I always play the Bruins when I do stuff. No, though in my little project, I haven't played it in a while. I'm playing as trying to the Seals to see if I can make them a winner. The fun thing about that game, and it's been a while because like when I play the baseball out of the ballpark now, I've been doing season replays mostly offline. So I'm not trading players. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing
that. Yeah.
The thing that's kind of actually fun with the hockey and even with baseball, you get these malcontent players. I get these Europeans. I pay them a ton of money. The other players hate them because I paid them a ton of money. And then they complain, and I don't get enough ice time.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I put you on the first line. I don't like my number. What? Shut up.
I know. He's unhappy.
I don't like. They literally, they're sulking. You see the little guy sulking because your number. I just gave you the largest contract you ever had. You piece of poop.
Did you ever read like some of the injury reports in that game?
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
I actually on franchise, what was it, 4 or 5? I actually wrote some dialogue for that. If you can believe it. Yeah, because I was a big-time player of 2 and 3, so they asked me to come in and add some dialogue. Now, I don't remember what I wrote and if it's still in there, but I went. They gave me the code to go in and add some things because I said, I do hockey play-by-play, so I did some things, and it had to all be real generic. And for the most part, there's only so many ways you can describe a shot generically, you know what I mean? But a few things made it into the game. I don't remember ever seeing them, but, I did help out a little bit. Yeah, it was kind of neat.
I think there's a lot of potential.
But the injury stuff, it's hysterical. You read some of it, like Rogie Vachon will be out for 2 weeks as he burned himself at a family barbecue.
Yeah, there's
or this guy will miss the game because his cat scratched him.
Yeah. You got cat scratch fever.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a real thing. I did not know that. You can actually.
Yeah, I guess it is too. But check it out. I would check out the chalkboard on that and just see it's a little better. I would really love to see 8 be fantastic for them.
As Big Paulie says, I don't know why they complain about their numbers, and they do. And then when you give them, okay, so I'm like, fine. I'm gonna give this European whiner his number. I take the number away from the other guy. Now the other guy's upset. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you people?
There's no winning. There's no winning. But that's half the fun with that.
When I do play the baseball, because I have a what if Red Sox team 19. We're in 73 now, and I traded Rico Petrocelli because he was a malcontent. I go, oh my God, Rico, what the hell's wrong with you? And he's like, he would complain, and then he'd be the. This is fictional. I'm not saying real, but in the version, something made him unhappy. He was making other players unhappy. I was like, God, traded. That's the first thing I did with the 60 Red Sox. I went in. I wasn't going to make a lot of trades when I did my what if Ted Williams, right? Just his swan song season. And I traded away every veteran pitcher. They were such pains in the asses. All they did was complain. I'm like, Yeah, you're not my I did the Vince Lombardi. You're not my problem anymore. I haven't been winning with you. I can sure as hell lose without you. I don't care. Bye-bye.
I played Franchise Hockey Manager. I don't know which one it was. And I played the WHA.
Yeah, because you
And
can't play any league.
I think I took the New England Whalers, and they had a couple of the Hanson brothers on it, actually. And I took them all the way to the final, and I won the Avco Cup, actually. It's the only championship I've ever won with Franchise Hockey Manager.
Cool.
Yep, and I won the thing, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I ended up just letting the AI run it, and I would tweak the lines a little bit.
The lines are
that game, and I
the
told
lines
you,
are a pain in the ass
Yeah.
because it doesn't make it should be easy, click and drag or something like that.
no, I know. It's just like, what am I doing wrong?
Because
I
it
couldn't
should not
move a
be that
guy.
difficult.
No.
If I want to play crap, and I'm not saying I would, but I'm just saying, if I want to put whoever I want on the first line, if I
Yeah.
want to play 5 forwards, again, don't do it in real life. I'm just saying.
They need tutorials, and I told them that, and they're like, well, most of our people know how to play the game already, and so
Well,
we don't want to.
that's nice. That's
Yeah,
nice.
we don't want to put any money and resources into a tutorial. This is, and
Okay.
to their credit, once a week or twice a week, they play the
actually-
game.
Yeah.
But what they really need is somebody just to sit down and say, okay, here's how you set up a season.
Well,
And then another 10-minute video. Here's how you set lines. And then another 10-minute video.
Okay.
Here's how you make trades.
So
Because
in baseball, Dave, right? You drag your players back and forth.
yeah,
Now they might say, "Oh, you do the same thing, similar thing." No.
no, it doesn't work that.
It doesn't
yeah.
work that way. You have guys for some reason you want to put no, and then you think you did it. You spend all this time making your line,
And it doesn't save. Yeah.
and then I had strategy on top of it. This is the way
Yeah.
I want this. I really thought about how I wanted the Seals to play, so I just could have it automatic. Now you can do it as you're playing in the game too, but I wanted to set it. This is the way I want this line to play. This is the way I want this line to play.
Yeah.
I did all of that, and then I'm like, wait a second, it doesn't seem like I go in. Not only do they not have the guys I had, I'm like, but I did it. It didn't say to save. There's not like a place.
No. Yeah.
It's
I'm the same way.
frustrating.
The running the lines in that is so, it just doesn't make any
And
sense.
you're a hockey guy, so
I
mean,
couldn't
it's
figure
not
it out,
just
yeah.
me.
It has nothing to do with hockey. It has everything to do with knowing how that software wants you to do something. And it's just like, oh my gosh. So,
I mean, out of the ballpark, it's clicking. You just drag
Yeah.
the guy. I want him to go
Yeah.
here. You could put a pitcher to catch. And again, I'm not saying. I'm just giving an example. But
I don't know. Do you drag or do you click and then click? I couldn't figure it out. And
in
then I got it to
baseball,
work.
you
It's like,
drag.
what did I do? What did I do? It worked.
Oh, and
What did I
hockey?
do? It's like, what did I do? I changed
I
it.
still don't know when I did it right
Yeah.
because
So-
I thought I duplicated it, like I said, and it didn't. And
It's
that
just
became-
it's a super complex game that if you know what to do, then you're fine. But if you don't, it was like, whoo, boy, it's tough.
Hello,
But
Bobby.
and that's what I like about the inside sports games. Like I say, is that those are fairly simple to play. Now I've been trying to figure out the basketball game, and I've been watching a handful of the inside the paint basketball
Eric
videos.
Plays a lot of inside
Yeah, there's another guy out there.
higher ground gaming.
Yeah, there's another guy out there, DMO something or other.
Okay.
And I've seen he does a lot of inside sports stuff, as a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if he still does them anymore because they're a few years old. But he ran through the basketball game, and he did a fantastic job with it.
Okay.
But the problem is I don't know basketball well enough, and we talked about that on the show this week.
Yep, I did.
So
look at
he's just like, okay, so click. Okay, if the point guard is a 5, then he gets the ball. But if the person guarding him is a 6, and I'm like, well, who's guarding him? Well, it would be the point forward or something guarding the point guard or something. I don't even know the positions in basketball. And I'm just like following it. But if he's a 16, then it goes, and I'm like, wow. I says, I don't know enough basketball to figure that. Well, now this guy's in foul trouble, so we have to substitute him in. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Because I don't know enough about that. And I really am not at the point that I want to learn basketball right now. So replay basketball is fine for me. Roll the dice. What happened? Okay, let me just tell you what happened. Okay, the guy's tied. The computer subs in. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you have to play what you want, when you want, and what suits you. You get that question. I still get it once in a while. And it's not that I'm ignoring it. It's just I'm playing a game, and people go, "What's the best game? What's it?"
Oh yeah, that is. It's such a
listen, for anyone who
so
has that question,
so subjective.
Exactly. It's subjective. Play the game that makes you happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say if you've seen me play it on my channel, or you've seen it played on someone else's channel, they probably like the game if they're playing it.
Yeah, but you got to figure though, and I've been guilty of this in the past, where you see someone playing a game and you kind of like, what do you think? How does this compare to X? What's your favorite?
I
because
know.
someone's playing it, you want to get some advice from someone who's got a firsthand. So I get where they're coming from, but again, as being on the other side of it, it's like it is really hard to answer the question, what is the best one? Because what are you looking for? What do you want in a game? I mean, somebody might say, well, this basketball game is the best game ever. Well, I don't know anything about basketball. So for me, this is the best game, for me.
For you,
for hockey, I like this. And some other people hate it, and they're like, no, this is the best one. Like, I don't like that about this one. So there's no best, there's no greatest one.
There isn't. Play the games you like.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, that's why I play so many. Because
different itches. We've said this.
Scratching that itch. Scratching that itch. Yeah, we'll scratch all these different itches. There's different, even hockey games. There's some that I'm in the mood. I have a lot because I'm in the mood for this.
Yeah.
I want to play this game. And then sometimes, like, something, I'm in the mood for this game. I might even pull out, something I haven't played in a while because I'm in the mood for something different. And that same with football games.
Even with a PC game, if I haven't played it in a while, sometimes I have to re-educate myself on the strategy aspect of it, like what's going to work, what's not going to work. Not that I don't know how to play or know strategy. It's every game's a little different.
Yeah.
And but like I haven't played action PC football in a while. Very fun game, enjoy it. When I go back to streaming some of that, I will have probably actually, before I stream again, I will actually play 2 to 3 games just to get, okay, I remember what works, what doesn't work with certain teams. Because I'll tell you, when I play tournaments in Action PC or but mostly Action PC when I play tournaments, and you're playing like basically one-off games because I'm playing as the worst team in the the weaker team in the bracket, and seeing that I have not played with them, and they're like, Al, you throw a lot of screens. Well, yeah, their receivers aren't as good, and you try to catch a team off. You throw a lot of screens out and draws. I'm trying to catch teams off guard. That's all I'm trying to do.
I had a long talk with Ron about Action PC football, and I was just, I said, I don't know what it is about that game. I have a hard time with it,
Defense, I'll tell people this. On defense, I think it goes with pretty much any really Action PC, but other football games too. In the beginning, I overthought things. I tried to be too perfect. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, well, okay, I got good defenders. Let them do their thing. Play pass. Man coverage. Double
once
in a while, but
I go double team receiver and they go up the middle. I play the run, they throw a screen, and I just like I do one of these. I'm like, okay, next game. See ya.
Here's the cool thing with Action PC: you can play offense, which is the fun portion of the game, right? People go like, why do you get so excited when something good on defense happens for you? It's Action PC football.
Try it. Try playing defense at Action PC. Let me know how you do. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what would be a great project for you? I was thinking. Do you know what would be a great project for you? Is for you to do one of two things. Take the best team in the league, like pick a season, pick the best team.
I don't like playing with the best team.
But what I'm saying, now follow this. Hang on, I'm not done. You just jucketed me. You just jucketed me. You didn't let me finish my sentence. You just jucketed me. All right. If he's listening, he's gonna kill me. But
he's driving to Massachusetts right now.
He is. He's got the wheelchair going right down 89. I can see him right now. So what I would do is a fun project, even just a couple of games. Pick a season, pick the best team, but then put the worst kicker on that team.
Oh God,
that would be hysterical. Every time you lined up for a kick, you would miss it. That would be so fun. You have this great team that marches down the field and then misses the extra point. Oh, it'd be so like.
I don't have to do that. The computer does it for me.
But what I'm saying is, you'd have this team that would dominate. You'd be like, this is great, and then you kept missing kicks. So it'd be like highs and lows the whole game. Or take the worst team and put the best kicker on it, so you could kick from 60 yards. Like the Cardinals. Why do you think the Cardinals have the best kicker in the league? Because they can't get inside the 40-yard line of the other team. All their field goals. Look at the Cardinals kickers. They're in every game because the field goal kicker kicks 4 field goals from outside of 55 yards. That's the only way the Cardinals are ever in games.
Yeah.
They see that the one game they played the Patriots.
Yeah.
And they got the ball on the Patriots' 30-yard line. It must have been a turnover or something.
Patriots won that game because there was a turnover at the You're talking about last season, right?
No, this was a few years ago.
Okay.
I think they played. They were playing in Arizona, I think it was. But anyway, they were playing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals were so bad. They got the ball on the 30-yard line, and they ended up kicking a 57-yard field goal. And the announcer was like, "Well, that Cardinal drive was 3 plays for minus 17 yards." They just went backwards the whole time. They had it on the 30, and they had to kick it from like the 60-yard line or the 50-yard line.
Yeah, my kickers in my games, it's amazing. I can have the best kicker. I was playing this on 2nd and 10, a tournament. I put one game up in the channel. It's just for ha-has. I do it. It's just this 128 team tournament. I play as the worst team, non-NFL team, right? Worst team in the bracket. I play the weaker team. And I'm sitting there going, I got a good field goal kicker at least, right? Guy misses 3 field goals. I'm like, I don't know how I lost this game, but I somehow lost this game because this guy can't make a field goal. 87% chance of making it. Well, that sounds good. I'm going to, No.
But Ron will tell you, 87's not 100.
I understand that, but
I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and it's been like kickers in their worst games, and they got kickers that go in and they miss one guy missed 3 field goals in the 4th quarter. And it was his last game ever. And it's like, what a way to go. All you got to do is hit and they were all like inside of 40, and it wasn't like a bad wind. It just was he just missed them all. Yeah. Oh. And they had a thing about Mosley too, Mark Mosley, how he had a game and he missed 3 or 4 field goals. And
he had that one year.
And then they brought him in at the end, and he hit like a 27-yarder to win the game, and he was the hero. But he had missed 3 chip shots that game.
Now,
and it's just
if you
like,
don't
what
remember
do you do?
Mark Mosley, he kicked mostly for the Redskins, and at the end with Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, he went to the Browns. Yep.
And he was a straight-ahead kicker. And there's one year, was it the strike year? Whatever. He hit 31. Whatever. He hit every field goal. He was MVP actually. Look it up in case I'm wrong.
No, right? He was. He was the only kicker that was the MVP.
He was the MVP.
I think
he didn't miss any field goals that year.
And then the next year.
Yep. I think that's how it went when we went downhill.
Yeah.
Then who was it? Was the Viking kicker had only missed like 1 kick all year, and they were going to see. It was Atlanta. God, it's a while. Atlanta and Minnesota played in the NFC Championship.
That's the one that Atlanta went to the Super Bowl.
Right, and the Broncos
96.
Broncos beat them. Okay, and I want to say, and I could be getting this mixed up with a different Minnesota. The kicker, who had been pretty automatic, missed a field goal that would have won them the game, and they lost in overtime. I want to say, and I could be wrong, but that's because that was the rematch with
Gary Anderson. Gary. Was it 98 or 96?
Anderson? Was it Gary Anderson? He was a good kicker.
He's a money kicker, and he missed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was Atlanta won, so it was a former coach, Dan Reeves, against John Elway, his former quarterback. And Elway won. That's the first one they won. Was that the first one they won? I think that was the first one they won. No, the Packers was the first one.
But it is fun watching those field goal kicks that are missed in the whole bit. And my favorite one of all time was the Carolina game. I think they were playing Atlanta, and one team, I forget, I don't know if it was Atlanta or Carolina, and it was the razzle dazzle. It was like they ran it and they were tossing it back, and it was like a 50-second play, and they ended up finally running it in for the touchdown. It was one of those miracle plays.
Was it a playoff game?
No, it was the last game of the regular season.
Okay.
And so all they needed to do was kick the extra point to tie the game, and he missed the extra point.
I remember that.
And that's when the extra point was back on the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
And the coach just was like, unbelievable. They had just pulled off this miracle razzle dazzle. You pass it back, rugby style, schoolhouse rules. And I don't know what this guy's doing here.
Yeah. And you got, Anyway, in the chat, Big Polly says it's Gary Anderson. Larry Harris, Gary Anderson. Bob B says Morton Anderson.
Morton, okay, he's the guy that missed the Falcons kick there on the razzle dazzle. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was a tough one too. Because he's money. He missed all these kickers. You know what I heard? Gostkowski. Would they say Gostkowski had the most points in New England Patriots history?
Well, he was good. They
He's like
had
the leading
two
scorer.
great kickers in a row. Vinatieri and Gakowski.
I forget if it was Vinatieri, if it was Goskowski that is like the leading point getter for the team, and I forget which one it is. It's one of the two. It's a kicker. It's a kicker.
They've been lucky with good kickers. Kickers are very important. You know, you got to have a kicker who can make his kicks nowadays, because it's not like the old days where the other kicker is mediocre. Every team usually has a pretty good kicker.
What is it about Goskowski that he has? I don't know if he's the first or second in points for the Patriots, and he's his percentages are so good and the numbers are this and that, but every time he lined up for a kick over the last 4 or 5 years, you were holding your breath.
Yeah, more
and
trouble.
He missed so many kicks, extra points and field goals in the Super Bowl and the playoffs, and everyone's like, no, he's the most accurate kicker in New England history. I'm like, well, then why is it every time I look up he's missing a kick? And I used to go on Facebook and said, guess what? 2 missed extra points today, and the Patriots would win and it wouldn't matter, but it's just the idea that, boy, this guy, for as good as he was, I had no confidence in him whatsoever.
That's, I mean, you can look up Wade Boggs' numbers, and I guarantee you he has good numbers with guys in scoring position. I watched many a Red Sox game in that time period. To me, he very rarely got a clutch hit when I watched. I know he knocked in runs. I'm talking about, like David Ortiz stuff, where David Ortiz, you just sat there and you go, if he gets up, we got a shot at winning. Don't matter,
Yeah.
And that's your point with Gostowski. You never had, you weren't like ready to throw up like John Smith, and he was not a horrific kicker, but Gostowski was a good kicker, but at the end, he was frightening. And again, sometimes there's injuries you don't know about,
Yeah.
So.
But I always held my breath, and we always used to joke, look, another missed kick, missed extra point.
When you really held your breath? 1978, when the ball was hit to Butch Hobson at third base, and you're sitting there going, no.
Oh, man. Every time he came in.
15 steps before he threw the ball, because he had the chips and his elbow were all floating around.
But every time that it would be a bunt down the third, he would come in and he'd barehand it.
Yep.
I'd just be like, oh, there it goes. There it goes. It's going to end up in the first row there. It just was. He came in and he'd like,
oh yeah,
chew, and he'd be like, see you later,
Those were some, again, fun season, sad ending, but fun season.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, but yeah, so we've been playing a lot of different games, and the project, the NHL project, is continuing on your channel. And
feedback has been good.
Yeah.
On that. In fact, I was talking to Ron about what's the next one we can do, and I think we're going to do a football one.
Okay.
And I don't know how, and we'll talk about it there, but it's just the idea that everyone gets a little bit of play in it. It's giving it it's just fun, because it's like, I don't know what's going to happen. You're playing your game, Ron's playing his, I'm playing mine.
I had some unreal games.
Oh, man.
And I like the idea. I'm glad you said play as the home team, because it was fun to play as both teams. Normally, I have to be honest. When I play hockey offline, I'm playing like a gazillion. I'm playing Bobby Orr, Phil Esposito, those guys all the time. Yeah. So to play as the Kings, and they had good play. I'm like, I can't remember these couple, later in their career. Well, no, 78, it would be later in their careers. But they had some good players, and it was fun to.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Fun to play. And
Goring, I think Goring was on that team.
Yeah.
Rogie Vachon was on that team.
Marcel Dion was a good player.
Marcel Dion, yeah.
Again, I think that's later in their career as they're there. But it was fun. It was really fun. The thing I like about the Action PC games, especially when it comes to hockey and basketball, you look at they use the star system, or you can use I like the star system.
Yeah, it's
What's
easier.
the best option?
Yeah.
2 stars, you might not get the pass there or whatever. 1 star, hold your breath and pray.
Yeah.
3 stars, yes. 4 stars, yes. But again, some people say, oh, I don't know what's going on. Listen, if you're a card and dice open engine person, and you that's what you liked, and that's cool, certain games might not be your cup of tea.
Well, that's when you want to go to Strat, because Strat PC does a great job with that open ending, because you see the dice rolls.
Engine.
You see the engine, you get the dice rolls, you get the card flips. It's all right there.
Well, Replay does it. Inside those are pure card and dice games on the PC. So if you want to see, if you're a must open engine person, Mouse in the House, MV, my man.
Nice
How
to
you
see
doing?
you.
Our good friend from across the pond. Hope all is well. He was helping me on some pronunciations. You know how I pronunciate. And I thought I was doing pretty good. I did pretty good with the Italian names, a couple of, but Mouse in the House, MV. But yeah, if you're, because that's another question, and it's okay. Or people have, I don't like these, like a certain game, it's a closed engine. It's fine. Don't play it. Play the games you like. But if you want to take a shot like at a Dave Cook game, wait for a sale.
Oh, jeebus, yeah. Pick
Don't
up.
buy
Yeah.
any seasons because he'll give you a couple of seasons with this, like if you buy the game, right? And try it out. Out of the Ballpark, same thing. Wait for the sale.
Yeah.
I try to tell, I try to do a couple every once in a while, not a how to play, but how I play strategy in that game. Because people always ask, well, I don't get this. I have the best pitchers. And if you just keep clicking pitch, they're going to hit your guy. You have to sit there and look at the numbers. You can do it quickly. It's not like mind-boggling. But what's the guys? And this is when you get some stats going, okay? When you're playing a season out. Well, what's the on-base percentage? Okay. What's the guy's control rating? All right, this guy, his I rating is low. It's in the red, right? Or in the, below 5. The other guy has good control. But what's the OPB, on-base percentage? And you have to put that all into perspective.
Have you ever played an action PC game or a out of the park baseball game? Have you ever tried one pitch by pitch?
Yes, it takes very long. It's interesting though.
Yeah.
My suggestion, if you want to play as not one of the better teams, you can be competitive, more competitive in pitch by pitch, because now you're sitting there going, I'm going to pitch outside. I'm going to, again, pitch around in out of the ballpark and in action PC does not mean you're walking the person. It just means you're nibbling. Inside, outside, up, down. You have a better chance of walking. Now, Uncle Ron introduced me, and I love it. Some people don't like it, but I do love it. In Action PC, he's got that. He showed me how to get that percentile box, and I love that.
Yeah.
Now, it's not for everybody. I get it. But I like to sit there. That helps me pitch so much. I'm sitting there going, this guy, he strikes out a lot, but he walks a lot. And now I look at the average.
See, I don't. I turn that off.
I know you don't like it.
Because
I like it.
Yeah, because Ron will be like, okay, this guy's got a 3% chance of hitting a triple, and and a 20% chance of hitting a double. I'm like, I don't want to know that.
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm probably going to pick it up. I keep thinking about it because you're talking about pitching. I always mess up the game name. Baseball Mogul. Baseball Mogul. They have a football.
I have that.
Football Mogul, right?
I have. They're older versions, but they're older codes, but they check out.
But so
the
Baseball
Star Wars.
Mogul, and he's done a lot with the newer version.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to pick it up finally. It is a fun, but you can call your pitches. That is the most fascinating. Now, what happened, what I didn't know was in the versions I have, they're not actual. The schedule is not correct. And that kind of threw me off because I was trying, and that game's not like I don't think I emailed him once. I said, you should kind of, and I get it. The whole thing about Baseball Mogul or Football Mogul, building a team, trade, this and that. But Baseball Mogul and Football Mogul's fun too. But
that was my gateway drug.
Yeah.
Because I was a video game
do a
guy.
lot of crazy stuff in that game.
Yeah, I was a video game guy.
Team? I bankrupt my team. I bankrupt the Boston Patriots the first season I played them.
I remember seeing it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was at a PAX East. It was a video game convention because I did a video game podcast for 10 years, right? And we went to the convention in Boston, and we stumbled on this table, and these guys were playing. I don't remember what the game was, but they had a cards and dice football game, and I still don't remember what it was. But I was like, whatever. And the guys, because I was video games. I was Xbox, PlayStation, and the guy's like, we're giving away free copies of our baseball and our football game. And I'm like, that are on the computer. I'm like, okay, I don't know what they are. And it was Baseball Mogul and Football Mogul. And so I went home.
You met the developer then.
Yeah, and at the time I didn't know. I think they're in Connecticut, or at least I think they were, because they were up from Connecticut for the show. But at the time, I'm still 4 years away from what I'm doing here, or 5 years away from what I'm doing here. I'm still doing the video game stuff, right? And so I'm playing this football mode, and I was like, wait a sec. I can play the 76, 77, 78 Patriots?
Yeah,
I can't do that in
they
Madden.
gave you for football. I think he's expanded, but it was 70s forward. I want to say.
Yeah. So I went back and I was playing the Patriots, and again, it's just you read the text. There's not a lot of stuff with that, but I was like, wow, this is really fun. And I think I actually I traded Grogan and Stabler just for fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Just because you could, I think you could trade in the game. I think that's a game I could. And
Yeah.
so from there, I played that, and I was like, well, this is okay. And I'm reading the text again. You're talking to someone who's coming from Madden.
Yeah, it's
And
pure
you-
text game.
and
No
you're going into
animation
this.
really in that game. That's
So
too bad.
So I enjoyed it, but then I went back to it because when I got frustrated with the video games, I went back to it again. It's like, okay, what else do we got besides this? That's when I went to YouTube and I found the Action PC Football.
Very
And I
fun.
got it, and I think I don't know if I got they had a demo or if I got the game, and I couldn't figure it out, and I had a hard time, and I was like gonna write him a long email like this game sucks, blah 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 blah. But I was like, no, hang on, let me learn it, and that's when I found Uncle Ron's channel, and I was sitting there, asking him a ton of questions, and he helped me learn the game, and so yes, but Football Mogul, going back, that was my gateway drug to all of. Without
Here's the
Football
thing.
Mogul, none of this happens. There's no digital dice. There's no
Here's
nothing.
the thing. So hats off. And who just said something in the chat and I just lost it? Son of a. Oh, Todd B. The guy who invented Baseball Mogul. Yeah, he's working on a card and dice baseball game. He's on the Facebook group pages. Looks
Oh, good.
interesting. Yeah, he's working on a card and dice game. But he's a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He will respond to your emails. But if he ever listens to this, or if you ever have him on, it would be cool. Baseball Mogul has some nice, different type of animation. Okay?
I should look into it because I have the older
It's-
ones.
No, what you see is the pitch and the hit.
Yeah.
You don't see like people running, but it's a different concept of what they're showing you in animation. Okay. I've watched as a person. Oh, see, again, I'm horrible with names. He does the Detroit Tigers, and he's on Facebook, and I've watched some of his YouTube videos.
Yeah, I think I've
But
seen
it's
some of
actually
that too.
fun
Yeah.
because he's all into it, and he makes trades. Again, you can't play it straight up. It's not meant to be played that way. You can decide not to make any trades, but other teams are making trades. So, but it would be interesting, like you said with the football. It's basically pure text, and you have some, I want to say 20-something offensive play calls, possibly slightly more, slightly less. And you can change your plays. You can add plays and stuff like that. The logic is there. You can really better up a team. But it would have been interesting if he added some sort of animation. Not because the baseball has...
He's got the swing. He's got the swing.
Oh, for baseball, I like it. You can
Yeah.
pitch.
Yeah.
You see the pitcher throw, and you see the batter swing, and then you just follow the ball, and it says, okay, that's cool. But I'm saying for football, I don't know how he would do it in his universe, how he wants it. But it would be nice even if it just something. See the little
Yeah.
quarterback throw,
Yeah.
but they're
Now,
fun games.
Yeah, Matthew here in the chat says he's in the minority, but he likes Strat PC football is more fun than Action PC football.
I can tell you, I like them both. And again, and I've been playing. What I do with Strat, is I
They're
do-
way different games.
yes.
So it's okay to like one versus the other because one does something completely different than the other.
The thing with Strat, again, when I play it, I'm doing more one-offs. You know how you're talking about like the one-offs, Dave? You've been talking with Uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've all talked. I do like quick little games that pop in my head that I like to play, right? I said, oh, I want to do the 1960 championship game. Can I win with the Packers? Oh, I want to do Y.A. Tittle. Can I win one for Y.A. Tittle, 1963, the last time you went to the championship with the Giants? And then we did the one early this morning, early this morning, Browns, Raiders, 1980. Well, played January 4th, 1981, but it's the 1980 AFC divisional playoff game. But yeah, it's a fun game. I would recommend it. Again, take my...
You want to talk about projects?
Oh, boy. I love projects. I have more of them in my head.
Okay, this is a score sheet for APA. Okay, these are
Printed out a
pre-printed.
lot of them, Dave.
Yeah, and now what I did is as you can see on here, I put the team logos
Yeah.
on there. You can barely see them in the
No,
light,
I can
but
see it.
Yeah.
Atlanta Flames and Flyers.
Yep. So I like, have read, so I have it all set up so I know what's what, and then I got another one here. So I got Montreal, New York. I just I do them in Excel. ID and myself kind of come up, but it's more ID than me.
Okay.
But we put together the score sheet, right? And
Yep.
I could easily go in and change the colors and put in the logos, and it looks nice, right? Well,
So IDJ helped you with that.
yeah. So when I got
You work
APA though,
together,
right?
Cool.
These are all the score sheets I have printed out for games I want to play with APA. I don't know how many there are out here. These are score sheets that are waiting for me to play. That's how much I like the APA hockey.
But do you already have your lineups filled out and stuff?
Oh, no. These are just, okay, I'm going to play Atlanta, Philadelphia. I think I printed out like 7 or 8 because I'm going to play the Bruins and the Bruins and the Blues. I got this one here because I'm going to replay this one here. The
Super
Kings.
Bowl tournament.
The Maple Leafs and the Kings when Gretzky played for the Kings.
Nice job with that.
Yeah, they come out good. I got the old NHL symbol on there and everything, But yeah, so I'll print that. So I printed out all the home and away games for this series. So I got a bunch of series in here too. But holy cow, I got so many APA games that I can't wait to play. And they're sitting over here on my desk just like, because I got printed them all out. So, like you said, I'm going to play this series. So I printed them all out. I'm going to play this game. I got over here, I got the Seals last game. I'm going to print that one out too. And it's so, that's half the fun is listening to, is you guys will be playing a game and I'll be setting up all these spreadsheets in Excel. And I'll be like printing them out in the chat, printing them out.
You can ask Nurse Teresa, what do I watch more or listen, right? TV or YouTube and you guys.
Oh, yeah.
It's YouTube and you guys.
Yeah.
I'm playing my 1967 baseball season with the Red Sox the way I'm DH and everything like that. It's my season. I can play the way I want. And I play it when I'm listening to either Dave or whoever. Ronnie's got something uploaded or Big Paulie or whoever, so many RJL 518, just I'm listening to the community. Right. And and it's fun. And then, someone's doing something and I'll be playing something. Wow, that's an idea for me. My new fun thing is making boxing posters. I make boxing posters now. And then I come up, I wasn't even going to do the match. I'm like, now I got to do the match. I made the freaking poster. I got to do the match. And I had fun with Joe Frazier and Taylor Philo Stevenson. What a fun fight that was. But making the poster, here's the fun thing. Teresa's like, oh, you're done with it. No, I'm not done. I found a picture with Fidel Castro and Taylor Philo. So now I'm thinking to myself, right? I got to get one of Nixon. There's got to be one of Nixon and Frazier. And I found it. I was like, this boxing poster is perfect now.
But that's half the fun is jazzing up your stuff. And 90% of this, I'm not going to stream. I'm just going to play it myself. But I got the nice score sheet now with the logos, and that makes me feel happy. And I can't wait to play it now. And so
here's the thing with Card and Dice, and I'm going to have to do this because I think when I'm doing a mythical series, like I'm doing the 55 Brooklyn Dodgers and the 61 Yankees, I think because it's Game 3, Series 2-1 Dodgers. Yes, 2-1 Dodgers. I think. Now I got mixed up. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to fill out my next score sheets, a couple of them, just because, I get everything in order, and then I start writing it out, and then I look at the time because, listen, I always say stream when you want to stream. But there's sometimes I sit there and someone's streaming. I said, I'm going to wait a little bit. Not that people are going to come watch me, but out of respect for people, right? So I do that. And then I'm sitting there going, I want to really play. And then I'm listening. So I start playing I go play my Action PC baseball because I like to play something when I listen because I get jazzed up. I see someone playing something. It doesn't even have to be the same sport. I'm like, I want to play. And to me, it's like fun. Like you say, I'm listening to radio.
Yeah.
Playing my game. I have 2 screens. So I can put you, Dave, you're over here.
Yeah.
Like I had Dave Little yesterday, he did basketball. Today's Saturday. I lost track of it. And I'm playing a game, and then I sometimes I have to walk out of the room, and me and Teresa were discussing something. I come back in, or I have it on my phone, like we were watching Gotham, and I had it on my phone, because I'm listening still. And she's like laughing at me. She's like, "You're watching Gotham and listen. I can do both."
I do the same thing.
I can do
I'll have my
both.
iPad here, and I'll have like the Stanley Cup playoffs on,
Yeah.
or the football game on, and on YouTube here, I'll have you guys streaming, and I try not to stream over anybody, but again, sometimes it comes down to.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, like I'll be sitting there, it's like, okay, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get this done tonight for whatever project, or, the wife's looking at me like, hey, we got plans or something, or, sometimes like she's coming home from work, or, so it's like sometimes like you don't have a choice. It's like, okay, I kind of got to do it now, and I know there's other people on, but I kind of can't wait. Yeah.
You can stream when you want.
Yeah.
People say, why do I stream late? I actually like streaming late because sometimes I can't sleep. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not going to stream as late as I've been because I've been on vacation. Teresa's like, she'll be waking up. I'll be literally, not that I was streaming, but I've been playing sports sims games. And I'm like, here's the other one. I was going to play my zombie game that I haven't played in a while. I never got to it. I was having so much fun with my sports sims game.
Yeah. When I did the Game Hounds, right?
Yeah.
The people who were, I did it with her in California. And so the woman I was doing the show with, she was playing some game on PlayStation, right? And this was a Friday morning when I have to go to the hockey rink early,
Okay.
right? And so she's like, hey, I'm going to stream this game tonight, right? And I was just like, all right, cool. But I said, I'll watch for a bit, but I said, I got to go to bed because I got to be up and be at the rink, right? So I go to bed, I get up, I go to the rink, I pull into the parking lot at about 5:30, 5:45 in the morning Boston time, okay? And then, like, the rink wasn't open yet, so I had a couple minutes to kill. So I get on my phone, I'm sitting there.
Was she still playing?
She was still streaming, and she was drunk off her mind. And I'm typing in the chat. It says, "What are you doing?" I says, "I'm at work. I'm going to work, and you're still sitting here streaming away." She's like, bottle of wine, bottle of wine. This is a great game, by the way. Like, what time is it? I says, well, it's 5:30 my time. Oh, is it really 2:30?
She was on the West Coast, though, right?
Yeah, she's on the West Coast, but
Yeah, I
still, it was like
remember
2:30, 3:45, and she's still streaming away. It's like, well, can you hang on for another hour or so? I got to go do a hockey game. When I come back out, I'll join you. I'm going to bed, I think. Bottle of wine. That's all I heard is bottle of wine.
Yeah. Todd B says sometimes he keeps the sound down late at night when he's watching me because I scare his cats.
Sometimes you do.
And sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm usually pretty good late at night now.
Late at night, yeah. You've toned it down late at night.
Nurse
Yeah.
Teresa will come and smack me if I'm too loud.
I had that happen the other night when I got the golf game, the Inside the Cup. I streamed like around 7 or 8 o'clock. Oh, I'm excited. I want to show off this new game.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I get done, and I went to bed. And I might have fell asleep for a half hour. Maybe I just laid there. And it's like, I can't sleep. And nobody was on, right? It's like, man, there's nobody on. And I get up and I come downstairs and still nobody on. It was probably like 11:30. I was like, you know something? I fired up the golf game and I streamed 18 holes and I was up till like 12:31. I was like, because there was nobody on. I was like, I wasn't ready for bed. And if there's no one else doing it, I said, then I'm going to play. And I got a handful of people in there,
Yeah, it's you get some of the, like, people are up. Some people are on the West Coast. Some people might be overseas and they're just up.
Yeah.
So
I tend to, like I said, I'll go to bed and I'll have it on the phone. I'll be chatting on the phone and sometimes I'll just be listening and whatever.
I think our community is really fun. I think it serves a lot of purposes just to have fun and chat and talk. And you do things, you try out things because you see it on other channels, or you try different things. And I've done things and I realized, well, keeping 2 scorebooks doesn't work because it's really long and I make mistakes on the one on the Excel spreadsheet. So I went back to doing off, and because people were on to say, I want to see the score. Well, I don't have that set up. I'm sorry. I cannot give that to you. I wish I could, but
what I like, though, is when you go to people's stream, everybody does something a little different.
I've learned from everyone's stream.
Yeah, and you learn from them, and you're like, oh, I like this idea, I like that. It's maybe somebody put something on the screen, or maybe somebody does this, or, I learned how to do the scoreboard in Excel because, I was streaming games, and I didn't have a really good way of keeping score. Yeah. And so I just use Excel now at the top of the screen, and I try to set it up so it looks like the NBC scoreboard the best I can.
I was watching Appa Brian, and RJL does it now too. They have this little scoreboard, right? When they're doing card and dice. And then I watched, could have been you. with something else. And I said, you know what? I can use, like you were saying, Excel with your hockey. And I think I was talking to my friend Chris Anderson at work, and that's why we call it the Chris Anderson scoreboard. He says, just do a little thing and just kind of, because I showed him how I did it. He goes, well, just put the up here and have the video for, it works fine. It's fun. I have a scoreboard. That's the way I do it. I like watching and seeing what other people do because it gives you ideas and I know we all try to help out one another in the community. When someone asks me advice, I try to give them advice. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm giving you the best advice I can when it comes to streaming. If you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you. Like people, what do you use? I don't have anything fancy. I use OBS. It's free. And then Uncle Dave uses a different version, which is OBS, but it does more things.
It's more for gaming. It's for video gaming, but I've adapted some things. And
you can do a lot of cool things with that, though.
Like I say, find something and just learn it. And it doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be the worst. It could be free. It could be expensive. Just whatever you're familiar with. Just get good with it. And this ain't the best thing out there, but somehow I've learned it and I can really work with it well. And
Dave, you've said things, right? Now, grant you, it takes me a while for my brain to click sometimes. I can now stream action PC games and show everything I can show. No more freaking Windows, because you said something, and I'm not lying. I think I've told you this before offline. I'm going to say it online now, and I think I've said it on my channel a couple of times when I'm doing something. You said, I forgot what you said, because you're saying, I stream it this way, and I get to bring up everything. I went, son of a gun. I can do that with OBS by just doing a display capture. But you got to have, in my opinion, with OBS, you got to have two screens for it to work properly. That way you're not getting.
Yeah. Well, what I do, here's my trick, I use scenes. They're called scenes. And I don't know all about them, but I have one scene, which is my main shot. It's like a 3/4 shot of me. And then I can talk almost like this right here. So, hey, there's a 3/4 shot of me. And then when I do my display capture, I have to capture the whole screen because there's no other way to capture Action PC or even Strat, for a matter of fact. It won't show the
Strat now too, because now you have to make little windows to try to capture everything.
Yeah, but what I learned was this thing called a hotkey, and I have this scene I have 3 keys that I hit. It's like Control Shift something.
Yeah.
And then for my main screen, it's Control Shift something else, and I just go back and forth between the two. Now, sometimes I'll use a third screen if whatever, but so I can start off in OBS and say hi to everybody. I minimize OBS. That calls up the Action PC game, right, on my screen. I only have one screen, and then I use my shortcut. Okay, because Streamlabs is still running. It's just minimized. I use my shortcut, and that switches the screen without me needing to be into Streamlabs.
That's good.
If you follow
that weird.
I never get it unless I have to go back in and move something around. Then I have no choice. Because you capture this, like when you set your camera, you get all the crazy woo woo woo. You get all that. But if you set that up before you stream, and then you never show that. So, and then when I'm done Action PC. Yeah, hi, Philip. And Zalapsky, hello, Zalapsky. I saw you come in here. He's playing 85 inside pitch. That's a good season. Nice, good choice on that.
Oh, there's Zalapsky Smurf. I didn't see him. Hello.
And so what I'll do is when I'm done Action PC is Strat, right? I will just go to my hotkey, call me back up to my main camera, and then I open Streamlabs up, and you never see that.
Well, I'm telling you. Again,
works like a charm, and not every software does that, because I tried that with another software and it didn't. Once you minimize it, you couldn't do anything. For some reason, with Streamlabs, you can use the shortcut keys to change your scene while it's minimized.
Streamlabs what I read about it, and when I tried it, and this was just me, I uninstalled it. It uses a lot of your PC. You know what I mean? A lot more of your PC. A lot of stuff runs in the background, and I was like, okay. And I still might go to it because you can do a lot more things with Streamlabs than OBS, which I did like. It's just I watched my processor, whatever it's called. I went way up. It's like, I'd rather stick with what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And what works for you? Just
Yeah.
whatever works for you. I mean, if it
That's what
works,
I mean.
great. You know, for me, I haven't run into that issue. My computer's somewhat old, but I got a nice Alienware here that's 5 or 6 years old, but it's pretty powerful. And again, it doesn't need
And
a
I was
lot for
little
Action
because my
PC. You know.
computer's pretty new. It's a freaking gaming computer, to be honest
Yep.
with you. It was just I chose to stay with OBS, but OBS is free. Streamlab is free. Some people use StreamYard to do some sports gaming. That's a little choppier, and I've watched.
Yeah.
In my
It
opinion,
works, but for certain things, it works less desirable than
right. So again,
StreamYard,
but if
yeah.
that's what you use and that's what you have to use, that's cool.
StreamYard is for this.
Yes,
StreamYard is for talking when you don't need to have that high quality.
Uncle Dave, I got to ask you a question. Okay, remember when they got rid of Google Hangout? We used to do this on Google Hangout, right? They added something. YouTube, whatever the hell it's called. I actually tried that once. I couldn't even get it to work.
No, you stream right from YouTube. It's like, yeah, that ain't working. You had to like set it up and then go into the program and then use a key to set up to there, and it was like a 2 or 3 step process. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't.
I had people. I only tried a couple of tests and I deleted them. Obviously, I had people so they could hear me. I could never get my camera to work, which I couldn't. Yeah. So anyway, StreamYard works very well for this. It's a lot of fun. We can do these shows.
This is how we do the podcast, is in StreamYard, because we can see each other. We can, show each other things if we need to. And yeah, I don't even know if they have Google Hangout. Oh yeah, we have Google Hangout. I use it, but you can't stream with it anymore. So
no, you can only do that like talk or chat. But again, they have a YouTube thing. It just doesn't work at all. I don't understand how it doesn't work. But what do you on Digital to Dice? What are you 97 now, right?
We just did 96.
96. And Uncle Ron was throwing out these Disney jokes that he thought everyone knew. Uncle Ron, not all of us watch those movies.
Right? I'm glad someone else thinks that way.
And I don't think Disney made this Snow White movie that I watched.
Is that the one with Angelina Jolie in it?
Could be.
She did
I don't
a
think
Snow
she was
White
in this
movie
movie either. I think it was a more lower level actors and actresses in this movie.
So, were they repairing TVs by chance?
Well, the storyline was similar. There's just a little more content than in others. That's all.
That's all right. Doesn't make you a bad guy. Ron just happens to watch different things,
Just watch it.
Can you picture him? I can picture him watching those Disney shows. You know what I mean?
You ever, not to get off on a Disney tangent, but they don't like mothers a lot in those cartoons. I mean, Bambi's mother buys it. Dumbo's mother buys it. They're very sad movies. They're kind of dark. I don't know.
You ever seen the short clip Godzilla vs. Bambi? It was written a long time ago.
No, I never.
It's Godzilla vs. Bambi, and so I'll give it to you. So it's kind of like a almost like a flip book drawing. Okay. I'll picture that's what it is. So
I know, like you it makes it like a quick old fashioned kind of comic where you're flipping it, and it goes like that.
Yeah. So there's Bambi sitting there, and she's in a field, and she's like shaking her little tail and eating and doing this and doing things, and it says like the Godzilla vs. Bambi created by. And then it's like, this guy, it ran all these credits. So it's like, Bambi was created by Bambi's mother and father. And after it ran all the credits, this foot just stomps on Bambi. And that was the end of it. It was like a 5-minute thing. It's just, Bambi's just sitting there doing its thing in the field and all the credits are rolling. Godzilla just stepped on it. It was like, that was Godzilla vs. Bambi. Stupid things that we watch as a kid.
That was what you call a stomp match, like in wrestling.
Man,
a jobber. Yeah. Bambi was a jobber in that one.
The old jobber, yeah. So so as far as new games I've been playing, let's get on that. Yeah, so I again, Inside the Crease is slowly becoming one of my favorite PC hockey games. In fact, I need to. I'll probably grab another season or 2 at some point. But
of Inside the Crease.
Inside the Crease, yeah, from Inside Sports. And again, boy, I got to apologize to that game because
seasons go up $27.
I don't know. I can look it up.
25. I don't think they're. Strat's 27. I thought they were similar to Strat.
I think they're a little bit less than that. Let me see. I'm actually on the page right now.
Replay
And-
baseball is like 24 something.
All right, for the PC game, the seasons modern ones are 17.
Oh, wow.
70s are 10, 11, 12
For the PC.
for the PC.
Wow, that I did not know that. That is a really, again, wow.
That's probably why I got like 4 or 5 or 6 seasons. So, when you get, like 70, 69, 70, it's $10 to play, $10 to play the Bruins Cup years in the 70s. 74, 75 was $11. It's like, of course I'm going to get that.
Wow,
77, 78 was $12. So yes, I'm going to
I have
buy
to say that's reasonably priced.
And they're almost the same price as the PDF version of the cards and dice. So if you want cards and dice, it's about the same. But I'm so glad that they're not
out of
27.
curiosity, is a baseball like that too? If you're on the site still?
Yeah, I am actually. All right, so if I go to Inside Pitch and I go to the baseball game and I scroll down here, now the game
This
itself.
is for PC people.
This is for PC. Oh boy, I gotta click on this here. I gotta add it to the cart. Windows Seasons PC. All right, so I'm gonna pick 77.
Good year.
Add it to the cart. 1977 is $16.
Wow.
So just to give you an idea on what that is.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's and they card every player. I mean, it's PC. Most games card every player PC.
Yeah. Now that I've been looking at that game there, Inside Pitch on PC. It looks okay. What I don't like about it is that sometimes you roll the dice and you're like, okay, that doesn't work. We have to roll the dice off the batter's card. And I almost got that, and instead I got Payoff Pitch. And I like Payoff Pitch. Now, obviously, there's no PC version for Payoff Pitch, but cards and dice, I like Payoff Pitch. I like Strat Basic. But again, Strat Basic is great. Again, the whole Strat problem is they have no seasons. And if you want something that you really like for anything, you got to go hunt and spend $100 on eBay.
We've discussed this before. They had that sale a few years back. I'm still breaking seasons, ripping seasons.
Oh yeah, I still got a season or two of hockey or baseball that I never opened for Strat.
Because
it's like you have to get, if they say, hey, we just released 88, you got to get it. Because I get people now that are like wanting to buy my Strat seasons because, and I didn't spend a lot on them. I just spent whatever Strat had. That's the great thing about some of these other games is that you have all these seasons. They're in stock. The APA. That's why I have all these APA seasons because they're all in stock. And it's like, ooh, I want to get this season. Then I'll grab this one and I chip away at it. And
I know I have more seasons than I can ever play, and I don't with card and dice. I don't play full seasons. I just pick teams and I play, and that's the way I do it. I'm not a full season. I might take a shot at it one of these days. I might set up the table down cellar in the dungeon and just leave it there. That way, when you know what I mean? I just walk down there. Obviously, it's nothing I'd stream. Maybe I'd tell you an update or something.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there because you see people, hats off, Tribes Fan 879. He does full season replays.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And other people have done them too. Hats off. Did baseball demos. I mean, where they take one team. RJL does like a full, but he's playing like game of the night. And then
that's
he does
the way to do it.
He does that quick play.
Yeah, to get all the other scores.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
That's the way to do it. It really is,
So he's playing through it. I'll do season replays with PC. I've set up, and I think we've talked about this before. I've set up like mini seasons, and at first I'm really into it, and then I lose interest. Like if the teams I want to win, play bad. I'm like, well, this mini season's been put on hold.
Well, I started back probably 6 months ago now. I started the shootout hockey. I decided to play every game of 70-71.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the whole season with shootout.
Yeah, but you can take your time with it.
And I don't think I've played a game in over a month now. And I've played October. So I think the season started in mid-October. So I played October, and I'm into the first or second week of November. So I'm still way early in that season. And it's just hard to get back to that because, not that I'm not enjoying it, but other projects come up that I know that I can. I don't know about you, but I like to complete a project.
No, I do too.
There's something about no matter how big or how small it is, whether it's a one-off or whether you do it like we're doing the playoffs here. So I'm kind of like I'm on a push now to push this playoffs because I like the project, but I do want to wrap it up because I want to get back to a couple other projects that I'm doing.
That really did. Like I said, I'll have the game up Monday, Tuesday at the latest. Game 2, Islanders, Bruins. that has been a really fun playoff project. What I do, I mean, I've completed projects years later. I've already said this to you. I'm going to get back. I know I say it. I'm going to get back to my boxing title bout PC, not title bout 2. I'm going to get back to that. I found the spreadsheet. I'm cool now. I just have to get back to it. I just really enjoy Glory Days boxing. I just like there's something about when I can roll the dice and I sit there, and do I make mistakes? I'm sure I make mistakes at times. And you know what? When you're streaming, you sit there and you go, unless it's a horrible mistake, you're like, well, I'm going to go with it.
Things happen, yeah. I forgot who scored a goal the other night when I played the game because I got chatting in the chat. I don't remember who scored, but you know something? It's going to be credited to this guy.
That's right.
That's the way I'm doing it, you know? It's not the end of the world if I screwed up, you know?
Not. But, yeah, I do like to finish projects. There are projects I've scrapped on the channel that I finished offline just because, again, this is streaming now. If no one's watching it, I still usually will do it, but I can see.
Well, more than that.
Yeah.
It's not only, it's what do you think? Because I've done some projects that I got some pretty good feedback on, and it just, for whatever reason, I was like, you know, I'm just not feeling this anymore. And it's like
the example with that, Dave, and I got good view time, and I got to finish it. People like it. For some reason, which I was excited when I started my 1969 card and dice strat tournament, I literally am down to 6 games, meaning like you got to play the last quarter final game, the final 4. That's 4 games. I'm down to 4, and I just can't motivate myself to do it. But I will get it done. It's just because I'm playing
Solitaire Pro Football, cards and dice. Yeah. Well, cards, fast action. I really, really like that game. I don't think I've played that in 3 weeks, and I'm playing 1980 season, and I'm just picking a game of the week, and the rest I'm simming with a quick play.
Yep.
And I'm enjoying the heck out of that. The only thing is it does take you about an hour and a half to play one game. So
football games do that, though.
They do, but I'm enjoying that game. But I haven't played it in 3 weeks, and it's not that I don't want to. It's just other things come up.
I want to mention something real quick, only because Dave Little said.
Dave Little's here.
Yep, he says, Paulie, you and Robbie convinced me to start Out of the Park.
Oh, they get the new Go. The Go.
Now let me tell you something. It's free. You get 3 free seasons. You don't even have to buy it. You can enjoy 19. I actually have. I downloaded it thinking I have to buy something, right? You get 1977, 1921, and 1996 free.
Oh, wow.
You can have a ton of fun without even buying anything out of the ballpark. On your here, I'm going to bring it up, and I don't know if the camera picks it up. It's the only way I know how to do it. Go to my games, and I'll try to show you.
I played the APA. Was it APA Go on the computer there?
There's a demo, but this you get 3 full seasons free.
I would play more of it if it was a little more intuitive. If I could play a full season.
The APA Go. I wish the PC game was like APA Go, where you could actually see the dice roll.
Oh, I would pick it up at that point.
Now, why can't I find my game?
I tried. I don't know if I tried to play a World Series or what I tried to do with APA Go, but I was like, well, I'm having a hard time figuring this out and setting it up. And
they gave you 2 teams in the demo. It was all right.
All right.
And now, of course, when Al wants to find something on his phone, because Al is not the most.
Did you close the Disney app?
Oh, that's never on my phone, my friend. That's never on my phone. Don't put that stuff. Oh, here we go. I had to go this way. So this is Out of the Ballpark Go. It looks exactly like it's free, people. Free. So now I'm going to show you. And Robbie did a video on it. It was very good. So you get 3 free seasons. Okay, so I'm going to go hit franchise mode. And I'm going to continue my 1977 season, which I haven't won a game yet. I lost 3 in Cleveland. And I play this, to kill some time here. But look, it's exactly like the game on the PC.
Wow, that's cool.
Okay, so now I'm going to show you. And again, Robbie Wartburg did a nice video on it. And maybe Paulie did too. I don't know if he did a video. So let's go to enter game. And so this is what it looks like. Okay? And I'm just going to play, but I don't like that view. I like to go to the this view better. And then once you determine what you want to do, so I'm going to just say pitch to batter, and they actually look, the little guys hit, the little guys move.
Wow, that is.
And that's all we'll show you of that. And I'm sorry I have the sound way up. I'm going to shut it off in a second. But my point being,
that is cool. You know what would be neat is if I know you'd have to pay for it, but if you could play.
You don't have to pay. You get 3 free seasons.
But what I'm saying, you
99
just jucketed me. You just jucketed me.
Well,
you
Ron's not
jucketed me. You just jucketed me.
Sorry.
So if you could picture that, okay, no, and maybe you could do this, but I don't know. Picture, you'd have to pay for it. I get it. Like I'm playing my fictional league in OOTP, right, on my computer. If I could play that fictional league on my phone,
you can do a fictional league. Fictional.
No,
league
but I mean the one that I have set up on the computer.
Transfer it.
So it's like, okay, to call up, sign into Dave's account. Oh, Dave has his 18 fictional league.
Cool.
And then you could play a game here, and then come home and get on the computer and play and finish the game. You know that would be really neat.
But what I'm saying is that not again 3?
Yes, that is fantastic.
3. If you like baseball and you can get this on your phone, and it's not going to mess up your minute or whatever because you download it. I don't think you use any whatever. You get 1977, 1921, and 1996 for free. Once you download it on your phone, it's on your phone and ain't going any, unless
I would play that on my iPad. Yeah, that would look great on the iPad. I would imagine.
You probably could get it for your, I don't know. I couldn't get it for my Kindle, which is a bigger screen. I was like, I want to get this.
Yeah, that's what
it wouldn't work. They don't have it for, which I didn't get why I couldn't get. I probably can. Maybe I didn't go to the right spot, but it's not in their app store, in the Kindle app store. So.
Okay, yeah. But if you can get it on the iPhone, usually they're both compatible. Usually.
But what I'm saying is,
the iPad.
Again, if you want to try out out of the ballpark, you don't even have to pay for it. Right here, it's incredible.
That looks fantastic.
It's free, so we're always talking about, you try to get the best price. You can't go wrong with free.
No.
And it saves. It works exactly. I mean, again, you have to use your, but you're using your finger or one of these thingies.
But it's got all the animation and everything. It's basically the computer game.
Yes, I was so impressed with this. I downloaded it thinking I'd have to buy it. I thought maybe they'd give me a demo of 2 teams. Let me just look at it. Okay, what 2 teams do I have? And they go, 19. It goes, do you want to play 1977? I'm like, hell yeah, that's a great season for the rest. Yeah. So I went, click. And I'm like, wow, I got 1 season. So now I'm just scrolling through. I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything. I just want to look. And then I saw 1921 was available because I would literally start it from the beginning. And they have all the seasons. So it's 1921. Babe Ruth had a phenomenal year with the Yankees. 1977, 1996. I think that's really nice. 3 free seasons. The download's free. They do have in-game purchases, obviously. Now, is that the right way to say it, Dave? You buy seasons. You can buy other seasons. And you can play online. This is really to play other people online also. And there's a lot of in-game purchases you buy. And Paulie knows more about this, Big Paulie, because he does it on the PC. It's called Perfect Team or something like where you kind of buy, I think, playing cards, and they become your team.
Yeah,
that's not for me. That's not for me.
That's one of the reasons I went away from all the game Madden and NHL on the PlayStation, because they all went to that, HUT team, Hockey's Ultimate Team, Madden's Ultimate Team. I never could figure out how to play that, and I tried it, and I got it to work a little bit, and then you got to sign guys to contracts, or they leave, or you only can get a guy for a few games. I'm just like, I just want to play. I never figured it out, and when OOTP went to that, I'm like, oh man, I know you got to make money because you got to buy the packs or whatever, and you can make extra money on it. But boy, for
I
me,
don't do that though. The way I enjoy Out of the Ballpark, again, it's one of the games I buy new every year. I want to say it's $40, when I buy it. You get every season. What I do, I continue my seasons that I've played prior. So I do have the old open world stuff, but what I've been doing more recently with the new versions, or I continue because I continue, like I'm playing the 1964 Tony Conigliaro rookie season. I put a couple of games on the channel. That's more I play at my leisure, and I'm playing as played. They set the lineups. They do this. Sometimes we have hindsight. Someone brought up Don Zimmer. I think I was watching Kurt Berglund's premiere for the new Great Team League for Great Team set for Pine Tar, and someone brought up Don Zimmer. Yeah, it was a 78 Red Sox around the second. And I sat there, and I've played the 62 Mets. They're bad. They can hit a bit. Their pitching sucks, beyond sucks. But you look at those lineups, and at some point, I know I have hindsight, right? At some point, you have to realize Don Zimmer should not be, I don't care how many, he should not be batting in the top 3, 4, 5 guys, you know. And in Strat, I was playing as played with, but when I had my computer and I switched everything over, I lost it. But I played as play on Strat, was doing pretty good with the Mets, but I would do crazy things like third inning. Yeah, I'm pitch hitting for that guy because I have to try to score runs right now. And I just can't, you know, you see these guys, they have no shot at getting a hit. I'm like, oh, it's driving me nuts. But yeah, so, you know, out of the ballpark, you can play as played. Again, it might not be your game. I love the animation, though. It's so much fun.
Oh, you can't beat it. And now they got the different TV angles where the ball's hit and it follows it around. And it's like
that. I tried that for a while, but because I like to use the old, someone made these nice old stadiums that they have not upgraded to that type of version. So when they were moving, I was getting seasick because it was like you're watching the sky.
Yeah.
So I went back to I clicked off following the ball. I just get the one, one camera because I like using someone made all these nice old stadiums.
Yeah,
and I like them.
The other problem I had, I tried to play that and I tried to put in the old stadiums and I couldn't figure out how to get them to work.
You have to.
And I got it to work once and I never could get it again. It's okay, I want to play, 75 series, Sox and Reds at Fenway and Riverfront.
You have to go into info. I did a video way back when. I could do another one.
I thought I did it right, and then I still didn't get it. And I was like, come on.
And then you have to save it. You go into info ballpark.
Save the image or something.
Then you go into.
I think I've done it.
You get into the ballpark, and you have to go. What's it called? 3D or animation image or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you have to bring down another drop-down screen. And you have to go to where you have it saved. And you say, I want, then 2 more things pop up, and it's got to be the Texel or something like that. You click on it. Then you have to say, save this for the ballpark image. I can do another video on that. I did one a long time ago.
I got it to work once, and then I couldn't get it again. I was just like, come on. It
really,
should be. Yeah, I
really
thought
fun.
I had it, because I've had it before. Yeah. And I've played in an old park. It's like, this is great, because I got them all on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
But then I couldn't do it again.
When it comes to their prior releases, the online community, the stadiums were incredible. Now they redid them, but it doesn't follow, maybe with an upgrade, it doesn't follow the camera angles good. So if you're playing with the stadiums that come with the game, the new stadiums, it does it fine. But it was getting me with the old stadium seasick. I'm joking a little bit, but it was just because all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of the sky. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. Robert's here joining us in the chat. Good to see Robert in here.
Hello,
can't wait. Robert, I need to see those Florida Panthers back at Appa Hockey again. I missed that. And just as I was thinking that, Aaron shows up and says, "Any Appa Hockey players?" Just like,
hello, Aaron.
Yes, me. Although those are all my Appa seasons behind me. Have you seen the Appa envelopes that I got
on Facebook? Yes, because
I think it's Chris White. Does custom he does custom Appa envelopes. Yeah. They are gorgeous, and he does it, and he puts like the team logo and the team and the rink that they play in and the record and the coach. So if you want any info on the team, it's right there. So even before you play the game, it's like
Now, obviously you felt whatever you had to pay for it was reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's like
We'll leave
Tebow said, this is our hobby, and so this is what we spend our money on. And again, they weren't free.
No, nor should
But I
they.
mean, I thought they were for the amount of work that he puts
And
in. I
it-
thought they were reasonably priced.
And it made you happy.
Yeah, and that's what I say. If I wanted to set it all up and do it myself, I might be able to. I don't know what I would get to print that small of an envelope, or where do I get the envelopes? But I mean, the time he puts in to put everything together for you, I was like, I got like 4 or 5, 6 seasons, something like that. I said, look, what's the price for all this? He gave me a price. He was happy about it. I told him I'd do a video for him and mention it on Facebook and the whole bit. And he was happy with that. And I'm happy too. I didn't get every season, but I got some.
You've done custom made mats.
Yes, yeah.
Someone did one for Glory Days Boxing,
Ooh,
and it looks really cool. Like
yeah,
a big mat.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool. But there's also another cool thing. Not that I'm going to get it, but it's interesting. I've seen people use it, and the person showed it on Digital Dice Facebook group page and sports on Dave Little's Sports Simulation. It's a ballpark. Like he'll make you Fenway or oh god, now I can't think. Yankee Stadium, Wrigley Field, and you roll it like it's a dice roller, but it's a ballpark.
Oh yeah. Michigan dice or something like that. Is it Michigan?
Something like that.
And you drop the dice in through center field and it shoots out on the field. Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, those are kind of
cool.
neat.
So that's something that could be part of your immersion. Not for me because I like to. I'm not a dice roller guy. I like to shake them and toss. Them,
the mats are great. There's a game that I played. It's actually a kind of a war game, but it's a quick play war game, and I forget what it's called. And it's kind of like a future steampunk thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you have the enemies. It's like Space Invaders. The enemies coming down. So you put like 3 enemies across. Like
play that on your channel.
Yeah, I put it on the channel. I forget the heck the name of the game now. But it's off the top of my head now. But anyway,
Space Invader. I remembered you were putting.
Yeah, so you have 3 guys at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you're fighting 3 guys, and then there's 3 guys behind them. Okay, and so you roll the dice and you figure out how you attack or how you defend or how you heal, and the idea is you want to get blow up the enemy before they blow up you is what it is. And it's a I'll think of the name of it later on. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I saw somebody playing it or a picture somewhere, and someone had a mat for this game, and it was gorgeous, and I would have got it too. I was like, if I knew where to get that image, I'd go to Ink Gaming and get it done. But it had like all the places for the cards, and had like the logo of the tank on there because it's like some really steampunky looking tank, and it had a few other things on there too to help you with the game. I was like, this mat is gorgeous for this game, so you can get a mat for anything, you really can. I don't know how I would design that one there, but man, I tell you, I wish I knew where that one was.
We have some more comments. I didn't know that. Okay. Zalapsky smirks. Man, I want one of those Michigan Trumbull dice rollers.
Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah.
They don't ship to Canada. Okay, so it is. They're really cool looking. Again, I'm not a dice roller person. It's not but they're well done. They're well done. And the mat, you made the hockey mat, which was real cool. And then I was just thinking about someone made because I'm also on Glory Days Boxing Facebook group. I'm one of the whatchamacallit guys, mods or whatever. I forgot what that's called. And but the guy it's really, and all I could think of was like, you did that custom mat for hockey, and I've seen custom mats for someone else at like red, white, and blue racing.
I got one of those too. There, yeah.
Well, maybe, so it was you. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. And it's.
I think all of the play games have a mat now, and Al Wilson designed a lot of them there. And so I took his design. Some I just went straight up and just used his image, and some the hockey I did my own there. I found that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can share this thing here. It's called Pocket Landship.
Yeah, okay. I remember. I watched this.
Yeah, and that's so it's like your guys are at the bottom, the 3 guys at the bottom, and you actually fight 9 enemies.
And the dice are just to tell like the points, right?
Yeah, the dice are how much health each has.
Yeah.
And so there was a mat for this, and it was gorgeous. It's called Pocket Landship. So you would roll, and then you would decide where you want to put the dice in each. So you might say, hey, I want to attack one, or I want to repair. So it's just kind of like a little strategy game here called Pocket Landship. But I really enjoy it. But they had a mat for that, and I was like, oh my
That's
gosh!
cool, because you put your 3 guys on the bottom, then it has the
it's all laid out. It's like, man, I need that
cool.
mat, and I would play that game more, But what I'm gonna do is so I don't know if they think it would work, but
Rob,
the cards I have here for Inside Golf, I was kind of hoping I could. These are the ones I printed out the other day. I was kind of hoping to use my my History Maker golf mat for play, but I don't know if that would work. I think the cards are too big for that. But I want to get back to History Maker Golf and use their mat because that's another good mat that I got.
You were having so much fun with that when you first got that.
Yeah, that's when I was out of work last summer, and I had all day to play it. It's a long game.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. History Maker Golf is fun.
I think you said it on this episode 97, and I could be wrong, but I know it was on Digital Dice, and you were talking with Uncle Ron. That's Ron Juckett. I call Uncle Ron Juckett. Dave Gardner. I call him Uncle Dave. That's out of respect. And you were talking about the play games do a wonderful, and I don't have any play games. I've watched people play the play.com games. I always look at the soccer game because they have the Cosmos. And I'm like, man, should I get it? Should I not get it? And I'm back and forth. But you say they do a wonderful job of, telling the story from a different type of sports sim view.
Yeah, Ron says it's a board game that plays sports.
Yes, that was yes.
So you're playing, yes. It's very much different than the numbers game that you get when you play a Strat or an Apper or any of these other games that we talk about. It really does,
Before Arnold Hunter is the one who did the mat. I just looked in the chat. He did the mat for Glory Days Boxing, meaning he.
Oh, nice.
I did the Glory Days Boxing mat, Inc. Gaming. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Inked Gaming that's where I get all my mats from.
Okay, so do you give them?
You just send them an image. You send them a picture.
So, okay, cool, Arnold. So Arnold must have sent the image of the Glory Days Boxing little game board, which is quite good. I like it. And then he must have sent them like this.
Yeah.
And they must have made them. That is awesome.
And what I did is I did my own football mat I did a generic football mat, but then at the top there was like 2 different games that I played that I put at the top of it. Okay. And when I did a video for it, I had all these people emailing me and they're like, geez, I want to get that football. And all I did is I took the Al Wilson mat and again I modified it in Photoshop and did a few things, and so I've sent that off to a few people as well, that football mat. Wilson did a terrific job with that mat. And I just what I did is I just stretched it out to the full size of the mat and did a few things. And do you
have to give them the specs of how big?
Yeah. They have different sizes. Okay. I think they got like a 24-14, which is what I use, and they got a 28-14, so it's a little bit longer. But you just send them the image to fit the size of the mat, and there's a couple different options you can get.
So your football mat had like the field where you can go the yardage, right? I'm trying to remember back then.
Yeah.
See that's cool. That's cool. I might get one. I have to see what I can fit on my little table here. I have the all
style lineup.
Yeah, because I really do enjoy that mat. I use it when I play the game offline once in a while, but it's just a nice rolling mat.
You want to see the dog?
Now, of course, we want to see the dog. We love him. He's a star. Hello.
He's been hiding. It's been raining, so he's been hiding under here. But
man, we had some thunder boomers this week.
Oh, we did. He curls right up with me, jumps right up on me when it's.
I forgot what day I put in. It was like I couldn't sleep. I'm playing games, and boom, bang, boom, like artillery fire. He's had enough.
Yep, he's gonna go up to bed now. He sleeps under my desk. He's got like a little bed under my desk. So I get two. Is
that where when you had that photo? It's under the desk.
Yeah, I get 2 workstations down here. So this is my kind of like my other work one, and the other one over here is my real work one. And so he's over here next door underneath, and she put a little bed underneath there, and he's all set. And then no matter what time of year he's under there, but that's where he goes when it rains out. He's scared or it thunders out.
Well, yeah, they don't.
But yeah, we had some boomers this week. In fact, there was one stream. I don't know if it was this week or the last thunderstorm. You could hear it because I got my window right here, and I leave that open for some air down here.
Yeah.
And you could hear the thunder. I was like, whoa,
Well,
you could hear that.
Again, I was on vacation, right? So I said, I'm going to stream a little earlier. No one was, and then we're getting these thunderstorms, lightning. I'm like, well, I shut the computer off because I don't want.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm like,
there was one replay I was doing. I think it was last year or the year before, and it was the Mike Seelock 2-minute drill.
Oh,
that game that you played, right? The quick play game.
It's a fun game.
And I was playing every game of the whole, because it doesn't take long to play. It's 2 rolls a game. So so I would do like a few weeks at a time. And anyway, so I'm getting down to like week 15, week 16, and I'm like, I do want to finish out the regular season here so I can get my standings for the playoffs, right? And outside it is thundering and lightning like you've never seen. And here I am going, I should shut off all the computers before I lose power, but you know something? It's like I'm this close to finishing the regular season. So I'm like, come on, roll the dice, get the results.
Yeah,
I'm sitting there looking outside, I'm like, yeah.
If you want to know what the Mike Seelock game, that's on that Sports Replays Field of Dreams free.
Yes.
Quick play, and Dave will tell you, I'll tell you, I never thought I'd have fun with that, and I watched him play it, and I was like, that's probably. For me, that was my favorite I don't play many quick play games. That's definitely my favorite. The quick play football, Mike Seelock. And again, here's someone who thought out a game engine that to me is realistic. Again, you're getting a score. And some people have come up with ways to do stats, which was also incredible. And again, I just wanted a score. And they probably just took a percentage of how many carries someone would have, and they kind of just did some mathematical thing. But again, this is just to get the score, really. But they thought up this very smart game engine, and they put it up on a site for free. And there's a gazillion seasons. And the cards, the guy made the cards. They're beautiful.
They're all in Excel, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a fun game to play. It's really easy to play. You just roll and...
I have a quick question, Dave, because I already forgot it once. And again, here's my question to you, because you're a hockey guy. Is it possible to make a hockey game for ha-has, right, where we could roll? I was going to talk to you off, but I'm just going to throw it out there to you, right? You get a card for, I don't know, a player, a team, whatever you want to call it. APA-ish, right? APA-ish.
Yeah.
No charts. Your results are coming right off that card. Could we?
Well, then you'd be looking at Strat.
But it's not Strat. It's not. Everything is going to be. There will be some sort of defensive rating, whether it brings it up. See, I'm kind of thinking like how my football game plays, where you kind of, the higher the roll, the better. The lower the roll.
I've actually sat down a few times, like while you're just daydreaming, and like, how would I do a hockey game?
Work. For some reason,
I can't get off. I could do baseball. I could probably do football, but for hockey and basketball, don't think I could do it because there's so many things that happen in hockey. So you'd have to decide how much you wanted to actually play of the game, and it's so difficult to simulate a hockey game.
For some reason, it's football, and then hockey's the other one I tool around with a little bit. Not like I did. I've changed my football game that will never come to fruition 3 times now. It's kind of, I have to be in the mode to do it, where I literally, when you don't see me streaming for like weeks, it's because I'm working on my football game that I change constantly. But the other one was, I was like, man, I would love to just sit down. And I know shootout hockey's kind of quick and stuff, but something where I could just roll dice, look at either a team card, right? And I'm sure it's out there, but the way I wanted to play. And I was like, I got to throw this at Dave.
You have to get results from somewhere. So Strat, you get the results mostly off the card.
Right.
Even in baseball, and there's a couple of charts in baseball and a couple of charts in hockey, but you get most of the results from the card. Payoff pitch is the same way. You get most of the results from the card, but once in a while you do got to go and check around a chart. App is all charts because it just gives you a number and then
Yeah,
you
and you have
reference the
to
chart.
cross-reference.
So yeah, there's really no, I don't know of a way, especially with a hockey game, that you could just say, hey, this is what's going to happen, because so much happens in hockey. But I mean, again, Shootout does a good job of condensing the game down into smaller segments.
Yeah. So what is the best site? Because the only one I really ever go to look up stuff for hockey is, besides just like Wikipedia, which I'm just looking for names or something sometimes. Like the Pro Football Reference thing, but it's hockey.
Yeah, the hockey reference. Yeah, that's a good one there. Hockey reference is good.
Because the thing, probably with the newer seasons, you can get some of this. It's tough to, like,
if you want, I'll give you a little trick here that I found. If you're doing a game, let's just say you're doing a hockey game.
I just want to make up something for myself that's statistically, I mean, there's quick play games. I just want something.
Yeah.
What's a good site?
Well, again, the hockey reference is pretty good. The NHL.com.
Because the older seasons don't, in hockey reference, maybe I'm not looking. I was like, well, they must, like for baseball, they'll give you the most common lineup. So I said, I was trying.
Yeah, no. If you go to NHL.com and you click on scores.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, I'll go there now and I'll walk you through it. I did a video on my channel about this.
Do they have historic? They probably do, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So if you go to NHL.com, and I'm trying to get it to call up right now, and of course it's not coming up on my thing here.
I was just curious because I wanted to ask.
So NHL.com, you click on scores. Okay. Then it brings up a page with the current day. So it says scores, and then there's a little. In fact, I'll share it here because I don't think I'll get. No, I don't know.
No, don't share it. Don't share it. Don't share it.
All right, so next to scores, there's a little calendar icon, right?
Okay. So you can change the years and stuff.
Oh, it just locked up on me. NHL's locking up. Yeah. So if you go there, oh boy, I don't crash my browser here. Yeah. So so on the main page, click on scores.
Yep.
Okay. Then scores comes up and it's going to say the date.
Yep.
Next to the word scores is a little calendar icon.
Yeah,
if you click on that, it'll come up with months. If you click on the date, it'll bring up years. Years, and I think even decades. So you could go back to 70 or 80 or whatever it is. Click on that, and then click on the year, and then click on the exact date you want. So you can go back on the NHL doc, and that's how I got the Seals game. That's how I found out in 1976.
Wow, that's really cool.
April 4th, I think it was 1976. Who played in that game, and it gave you the box. Now it doesn't give you the lines.
Okay.
But it does tell you who played in the game, and that's the big thing. That's why there's really no easy way to do a hockey as played, because there's no. I mean, the newer seasons maybe there's places to go, but it's really hard to find out what line is what line.
Because I look at the Baseball Reference a lot, because they give you most common lineups.
Yeah, baseball is the best.
Yeah,
baseball is the best.
When I went to hockey, and I never look, I said, I wonder if they give you common lines, like first line, second line, third line.
They don't. Even in shootout hockey, it gives you the lines in shootout hockey, but even the developer tells you, John will tell you that these are not the actual lines of the team in some cases, not all the cases, but in some cases, because what he does is he's trying to. If you were to play a season and you play the lines in the game on his card, that will give you the best chance at accurate stats. So if you were playing the old Bruins, it might be, Cashman, Esposito, Busick. In real life, it might have been Cashman, Esposito, Hodge. Mm-hmm. Okay? But for his stats to work out, his formula says to do it this way.
Yeah.
So that's about as close as you're gonna get. I don't even know how he does that too. It's good because how do you figure out what lines are what lines?
Because even Action PC, people have told me, again, I'm not the hockey guru. Oh, or didn't play that side; he played the other side. I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could go to YouTube and watch an old game and just kind of see who lined up with what and just get an idea who played where. Now, I know like inside the crease, I was playing that, and a lot of times you look at the guy's card, it says he's a left D, but he's playing right D. So I'm like, now it goes over, and sometimes it trips me up because I'm like, oh, the puck goes to the right D, and it's like, wait a sec, this guy's a left D. Oh, but he's playing right D. Well, he'll play both. Defense can switch around a little bit.
Right.
And
All right. I was just curious.
it's so hard. It's so hard to get it right. That's why.
I guess my question was: is there a place to find like most commonly used lines? But I couldn't. Again, I'm not the.
I actually, I bought a book. Someone said, "Oh, if you want to find the lines in the game, get this book. It's a Stan Fischler book. He talks about all the old hockey." Yeah, so I went on eBay and picked it up for $10. It's an old beat up book for $10. I get it. It's that'll help me with the lines. It doesn't list the lines. He just talks about the teams a little bit. So I guess if you wanted to read into it, maybe somewhere in there, but it's not like, hey, here's what the Red Wings used in 75, and here's what the Rangers used in 75. That's what I thought it was going to be. No, so there's no good place for hockey, unfortunately.
That's too bad, because I think if you knew, well, I mean, I guess you could break, first line's your best players, right?
Yeah,
second
usually,
line's
yeah.
your second best players, and third line's like a defensive line, sort of.
Usually,
right?
yeah, checking line, yeah.
Okay. But see, I don't have enough knowledge to sit there and go, oh, that guy is a checker. Like, I mean, I only know so much.
Even myself, I don't get that deep into it. And that's the great thing about a lot of these games, Strat Napper, and even inside the creases, they list the lines that they think should be.
Yeah.
And you don't have to use them, but for the most part, like I say, Strat will give you the piece of paper, and Apple gives you the piece of paper. Like, okay, here's the depth chart.
Yeah,
Action
like
PC, the same thing, the depth chart.
That's like Strat Baseball. If you get card and dice, they give you a nice little thing saying, here's the most common lineup.
Yep.
Here's the common pitching staff. Here's the guy who most likely would. The older teams, I mean, like the real older teams, they really don't have closers, but they do. This guy threw a couple of innings out of relief, because they just pitched forever. But yeah, no, it's just a question. I forgot. I wanted to ask you earlier, just something. Is there any place like college football? You try to go back to older games. Good luck finding and again, College Football Reference, very good. But if you're trying to find out certain things, you're not going to get their player numbers. You're not going to get their.
The further back you go with anything,
it's tougher.
Even we had Lon Whitehead on the show. We talked horse racing, and he was like, "Man, it was real difficult to go back and way back when horse racing was huge and get information." You know what I mean? I think him and Ron, they subscribed to like newspapers.com, and you would have to like physically go through like the online newspapers to get some things, and that's how it was.
The two sports back then, the top sports, boxing and horse racing, back in the 20s and 30s, and baseball too. But I mean, boxing and horse racing were huge, unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, so Frank says if you look, that makes sense. You look at some box scores.
It gives you an idea, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just something I thought about. I go, be kind of cool to sit there and say, I made up.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too is especially with hockey, is that you had your famous lines. You had your Flyers. You had Clark, Leach, and Barber. The Sabres had the French Connection line. The Bruins had the 7-8-9 line. That's Esposito, Hodge, and Busick. For a few years. But the thing is, hockey with 80 games, whatever it was, 78 games back then. They didn't. They didn't play every game, so you don't know who was where, what time, and they mostly kept them together, but not all the time. They didn't play like all 80 games with the same lineup, so
people get hurt.
Yeah, so even with baseball, like but baseball kept better of it. You know what I mean? Because baseball had a lineup. Like you come out in this lineup. You know what I mean? Hockey's like you could start the second line, the fourth line. It doesn't. You don't go 1, 2, 3, 4 in hockey.
Baseball Reference. You can go to I think almost any team way back, in fact. And they'll give you a common lineup. Now, I'll take their word that this is the common lineup because I don't, But yeah, baseball's well kept with stats, and so.
It was kind of neat that I was talking to some people who play Apple hockey, and one guy was saying that he sets up his 3 or 4 lines, whatever it is, and he actually rolls the dice to see which line comes out next. I was like, boy, because I just play like 1 versus 1, and then 2 versus 2, and 3 versus 3.
Sense too. You're trying to make the game.
It's just easier that way. But he goes, if you want some different matchups, he goes, I roll this dice, and I thought about how I would do that because
wouldn't you play your first line most?
But so I have a system set up where I think I go like 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And what that does is one plays the beginning and the end of the period, 2 gets out there in the middle, and then 3 has 1 shift in the middle. So, but 1 plays the most.
Right.
1 and 2.
That's the way it would be.
Yeah, that's the way it would be. But I see what he was saying is that if you roll the dice and then it's okay, well, line 3 is coming out instead of line 2, so that would be a nice mix up of matching lines and whole bit. Yeah, that would be really, really fun. But
yeah, but then you have to, because the way you set it up is much more easier for you to play, especially if you're streaming.
And the other thing is, what happens if you rolled line 3 and line 2 out of the gate? That means line 1 plays the rest of the period, and that doesn't feel quite as realistic either. And
playing way too many minutes at once, right?
Yeah, and people always ask me about how I do the line changes, and some like you go on Delphi and Facebook, and people are like, oh, I go every minute, I switch lines. It's like that is really realistic to switch lines every minute. However, that's 20 line changes a period.
That's a
so
lot.
If you're into that, that's fine. But for me, what I do is I go every 4 minutes, so I have 5 line changes. Instead of 20, I have 5 line changes a period. It speeds up my game, and at the end of the period,
they get the same time.
Your game and my game, we're going to have the same amount of playing time. It's just I've spent a lot of less time and energy flipping cards. And again, nothing wrong with your way. Nothing wrong with it. For me, I have my system, but I would like and Inside the Crease has an auto line system where it kind of guesses and it mixes it up, but still plays your best line more. But you'll get a 1-4 matchup or a 3-2 matchup, and it's like, boy, I'm intrigued by that.
Again,
I'm intrigued by that.
When I play hockey, I play Action PC mostly. And I normally don't change lines, but if you were watching that playoff game when I was playing as the Kings, I said, well, we're down. I got to get these guys.
Yeah.
You're at 90%. I don't care. 90% is better than those guys.
Yeah, when I play Action PC, lately I've been letting it run on auto.
Yeah, that's what I normally do.
The problem with especially with line changes on Action PC hockey is that if the guys get down to 95%, they're changing lines.
Yeah.
You're always playing with 100% because they're rotating so fast. When I play, I like to try to, when I'm playing, just, whatever. This product, I'm letting it ride. But most of the time, I'll control my line changes. But the problem is, I'll change lines, and however I do it, next thing you know, I get like 3 minutes to go in the period, and everybody's tired. I don't know how I did it. I thought I rested guys. It just, however I did it, my guys are all tied at the end of the period.
Yeah,
I'm like, now what?
I made the line changes because we were down 2 goals, and I was like, I think I actually said I never really do this even when I'm playing offline, but I'm trying to win for the Kings.
But that's another thing about Action PC Hockey is if you got 4 or 5 minutes left and you get your best guys out there and they're getting tired, it's like, well, I need to save them for the end. So I got to put out maybe line 3 because they're the freshest line because I don't want to put out tired guys and have them get scored on.
Yeah. Now, when I did it was like 2.5 minutes. I was like, I got to run.
No, if that's the game against the Kings almost came back and tied that.
Right, because I yanked my goalie with like 2:15.
Yeah, and you were down 3-1. I thought the game, it was 3-0. I thought the game was over, and they made it 3-2.
Yeah, fun series, fun.
We were sweating that one out over here on the East Coast. Because that was in L.A. That was Game 6 in L.A.
Yes, that was fun. I'll tell you this. The one thing they need to do, well, a few things with Action P. I enjoy that the best. That's just me because I'm not hockey's not my strength.
It does a good job with hockey. It does a good job.
For me, it has the star system. I like it.
Yeah, me too.
It's just saying this guy's open. He might be your best option, but he might not. He's not scoring. Because he's not.
A lot of time it's the defenseman, so you're playing it back to the point. And you're like, low percentage. But
what do I do? Put a shot on net. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But I want them to do video replay.
Oh, they have to. Yeah, they have to.
I could watch redirects into the net for 4 hours. I would just sit there and watch redirects into the net.
But you play this game for 45 minutes to an hour, and you get this great goal in the final minute. And, every game that we play, the Action PC football, we show the replay. The baseball, we show the replay. In Strat football, there's replay. Pro Strategy football, there's replay. So a lot of our favorite streaming games, you're trying to give a TV broadcast. Let's just say what it is. But every time we talk to them and they reply, all I get back is nobody wants it. People want more fighting. They want bench clearing brawls. They don't want replays. I'm just like,
Actually, I don't want fighting. You know why? I want the replay because I can't even watch a replay of a fight, and it happens so quick. I'm trying to remember who's hitting each other.
yeah.
You know, they've done a great job improving the hockey with the chalkboard.
I hope that chalkboard gets as good as basketball because the basketball chalkboard is so good right now. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I buy Action PC games. I think they're statistically pretty good, okay? But I want to see the little animation. That's why I buy the game. When people don't want to, and they've said this, Dave just brought, oh, no one wants to see. No, I do, and I pay money.
I've emailed them that. You've emailed them that. Ron probably has, so it's like,
and they're a nice company. I'm just saying, when I want pure text and I'm in the mood for that, and it's still a beautiful visual, except there's no animation, Second and 10 is just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Second and 10 is great.
Once you learn the ins, and I'm not an expert. Uncle Ron did a beautiful video. He actually broke down the dice rolls. I don't even look at dice rolls because you're very...
Yeah, me either.
But there is the fun thing with that game is it limits how much you can use a guy because it's saying...
That's the one thing I don't like.
It's hard, but it's fun.
It is fun because it's a game within the game.
Yes. And like, when do I use my crappy running back? I have to give him a couple.
You know what I do though? I am so paranoid. You know, that I will start, you know, because you can only play this guy like 9 plays in a row or something like that, or whatever it is. So like I'll play my best guys like, and then immediately take them out.
I do the same thing.
And get the backups in because I want to get their quota in.
Yeah.
And then the other guys get refreshed because I'm so concerned about them.
You can shut that off. I think Ron says you can shut that portion off. The resting thing, because it still limits how many touches a guy gets. The better, say running backs, you can still overuse them, but their percentage of success goes down. You know
what I get confused about. And he explained it to me, and I honestly don't remember what his answer was, but. Yeah, because I look up, it's like, okay, I get 5 receivers and a couple of backs, and when I add up their numbers, it gives me like 20. So I can only throw 20 passes, and now I'm being punished. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I don't get, and I don't like.
That's the game. Again, I have found that to be interesting when I'm in the mood to play that way.
Yeah,
the game within the game.
But it's just like when you sit back and look at it, it's okay. I can throw 20 passes, and then all my guys are junk. And I don't have anybody at 100%.
Not necessarily junk depending on your players, but yes. Because now, just say, especially in the 70s and 60s, there are some great receivers, but they really didn't catch the ball a ton. So you have to sit there. Do I really want to waste a short to medium pass that might be 3 to 5 yards? Because short to medium is not like you got to go medium long to get like 8 to 10 to 15. Not all the time. Sometimes they break a short run. When do I want to use this precious commodity?
Yeah. And I get that you don't want to game the system and just, throw to Jerry Rice play after play after play after play after play. I get that. I do get that. But for me, when I sit, just like I say, I overthink. That's what I do. I overthink. When I look at that, I'm like, okay, I can throw a total of, like I say, 18 passes, and then my guys are tired. That it kind of discourages me from throwing the ball.
Yeah, it's a different way. You have to be mentally ready to play that.
And so far it hasn't been an issue. But if I want to throw that ball 30 times a game, now after the 20th one, my percentages go down 20 or 30%.
Frank says, Dave, thanks for the help with the penalty and assist chart for APA. I bought franchise all-star cards. I'm going to play a 16-team double elimination tournament. I figured this was the best way to learn the game.
Yeah. Frank, thank you so much. Like I say, APA hockey, I just fell in love with it, and I tried it last year, and I didn't like it last year. I don't think I was ready for it. But I picked it up again, and I picked up the 90-91 season, which is one of my favorite seasons. That's the first Sega Genesis season, so I knew all the guys. And that's a big deal. And I suggest everybody that gets a game, get a season that you like,
Right.
because
We
you
talked
will
about that earlier.
again, when I first got the game, and I think it was actually Apachata sent me his old hockey game and a couple of teams, and I was just like, okay, I get it. I'm playing these guys, whatever. Yeah, I think I had a Crosby team. I think I had Pittsburgh and somebody else, and I knew some of the guys,
Yeah.
but when I sat down and I had Lemieux and Yager and Paul Coffey and Tom Barrasso in net for Pittsburgh, and then I got Curtis Joseph in net for St. Louis with Adam Oates and Brett Hull and Shanahan. And I mean, just the amount of all-stars in that 90-91 season is insane. These are guys I knew. So, like, again, when I played that with my favorite guys and favorite teams, it was much more personal, and I gave the game a chance. Apple hockey, though, the rule book is a disaster. It's a disaster. So what I'm kind of getting at here in a roundabout way is once I learned the game and then implemented my own things, and I asked a ton of questions with Tebow, and Mark Zarb, the guy that actually kind of redesigned. We had him on the show here, and we talked for a long time before and after the show, and I'm still talking to him on Delphi about the Apple hockey and suggestions, and everybody on Delphi with their ways of doing it, and on Facebook with it, and I've really kind of taken this game with the crappy instructions and quote, sorted it out. Okay. And so I've done all these videos and created these charts and my own way of doing things, which I think makes sense as a hockey guy. And I guess I would consider myself a hockey guy.
Yep.
And so, I finally did a video the other day, which is one of my most popular videos, if you can believe it, when I just sat down and had a heart-to-heart about Apple hockey. And I took a sheet of paper and like a big notebook and filled it a page and a half of notes about all the topics I wanted to talk about that messed me up with Apple hockey. And I says, let's start with this. Here's what this is. Let's go to this. Here's what this is. And so anybody that watches that got a lot of feedback, like, oh, you hit a couple of things I had no idea what to do. And whether I'm playing it right or not, this is my suggestion. And every game almost needs this. You need someone that'll step up and say, I'm going to take this game and break it down for you, because so many times you get these questions. You're like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And how do I interpret this? And just to have somebody spell it out for you.
And that can cause someone to, like you did for a while, I don't want to play this game.
Yeah.
You get frustrated.
Yep. And then
here's my question, and you guys talked about it, not to knock any company, but when a company has that poor of a rule set, I don't know if a rule set, that's not the right, how to play.
Instructions how to play. Yeah, we did a whole show on that. We did a show.
You think it shouldn't be up to, thank God for the community who likes APA, because to be honest with you, it probably helps their sales that people have come up with these charts, whether for baseball or hockey. There's a lot of homebrew instructions because you've done some, and there's another, oh God, I remember watching something you were talking about. I don't remember now, but I just think it's good that the community for that game does that. But you think at some point the company would sit there and go, maybe we should redo these instructions.
Well, that's what they did with Mark. When Mark Zarb approached him and said, look, I kind of redesigned your game, and people love my game. Whether he approached them, how it worked, I don't remember.
Right.
But he kind of did, I did what he did, just in a very light version, where I just took their instructions, like, what, I don't know any of this, and I just put my time, and I asked my questions, and I played it out, and just figured out what made sense to me. And then I just explained that in the video and said, look, these and I think I started the video by saying, I wish I could have made this video and sent it back in time to me when I first started playing the game, because it would have clarified everything that I had an issue with the game. And I like when people take their time in games and they go over that stuff. And I think everybody needs to do that. But the community does a great job of that. And that was just me giving back, because I'm not an Apple hockey expert, but I think I've played so much, and I love the game so much that I want to share this game with people. And I know people had issues because I had issues.
Well, absolutely. And you did something out of the love of the game. And again, I think that benefits the community, but also the gaming company, because someone might see your video, someone might see the rules of the gentleman you just mentioned, or whatever, find something, and it helps them understand to play the game. I think sometimes I know and I have plenty of games I've bought and I've tried to play them, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it. I ain't wasting any more time. I've put some money into it, but I'm not wasting any more time. I've said this regarding quick play games, that it's supposed to be a quick play game. I better get this game in about 3 to 5 minutes.
I'm the same way. I'm very impatient. If I can't at least get out of the gate with it.
If I don't get a quick play game in 3 to 5 minutes, I am not playing it. No knock against anyone's game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I just got a game in the other day, and I'm not going to mention the game. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is, and so I got the game, the instructions. It's a quicker play game.
Yep.
And and there's been videos on this game that people have made, and I sat down and I looked at and I said, look at the instructions. I put away the video. I don't want to watch the video. I want to play this game. And I looked at it and it's like, no idea how to even start this game. And I emailed the guy back, and I just said, honestly, I have no idea how to start this game. And then the first instruction said that, if something happens, how do I know if it happens? How do I know it's successful? I says, I am out of the gate. I am lost. And so he sent me back like a progression of what to do in the game. Oh, you flip this card and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And it started to make a little bit of sense, but I didn't get that at all from the instructions. And then someone actually saw me talking about this and made a video for me. And I told him the same thing. I says, reading the instructions and then reading what the guy wrote me how to play and then watching a video, I says, I do not get this from this guy's instructions. Okay. And I says, that has wrecked the game for me because I feel I can't figure it out. I feel like I'm an idiot. I'm a dummy because I can't figure out your game. But I cannot fathom what he wrote me back and what this video said. I would never, ever get either one of those interpretations out of what he wrote me. Yeah. And it soured me on the game. It did. It soured me.
And then, whatever the games, I'm not going to mention, they're probably good games. But again, if I don't have, when I purchase a game, or whether it's a free download or whatever, like it's a free game to begin with. Again, one of the best quick play games I've ever played, Mike Seelock Football.
Yep.
Easy. Gives you a game example. It makes sense. And it's quick play.
Yeah, no, that's a fun one there. And Frank's going to the hockey tournament, APA Convention hockey tournament. Good for you, Frank. Frank, that's awesome. Yeah. No, I don't have any more questions with the APA. I've pretty much ironed that out. In fact, I even added a roll of 66 that creates a breakaway, so I have my own breakaway.
That's a homebrew thing.
That's a homebrew thing, and cool. It hasn't. And someone else has used that too. So that same idea, and they're like, I am not getting crazy scoring because of it. But it just it doesn't have breakaways in the game. If you got to go to the rare shot, so you have to have a rare play and then get those few particular plays that give you a breakaway in APA hockey.
You don't.
But Strat hockey does breakaways. No. Inside the creases, breakaways. Even in shootout, you get the rare breakaway chance. But I mean, APA you never got a breakaway. I played 20 games. I got one. So I added it to the game.
And how many is it? It's not an over exuberant number.
I get now. In fact, I played a bunch of games. I tracked this. I now get, with that roll of 66, I now get between 3 and 7 breakaways a game. Ron broke it down and said I should get 6 just by the numbers. The percentages break down to 6 breakaways a game. I'm getting as low as 3 and as many as 7. And you know how many goals I'm getting out of that? Maybe 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did something similar with Glory Days Boxing. Okay. On the counters, by the rules, and this is the beauty of a card and dice game, you can do home brews. The one thing you really can't do with a PC, unless you go. You can't do it with a PC. That, to my knowledge, unless you're going in to fool around with a program, don't do that. On counter punches landed, there was no power check or chin check. Well, I decided, this is my homebrew rule. People do get knocked out on counter shots at times, right? So any legal blow, my homebrew, I roll for a power check first. If it meets that, then the chin check, right? You know how many extra knockouts I've gotten?
Maybe 1 or 2. Yeah.
2. But it's
But-
exciting.
But
It's
you've
exciting.
added excitement to the
I
game
did.
without wrecking the game.
No, to me it stays
Yep.
within the game engine.
Yeah, so all I've done is I've taken a scoring chance and made it a breakaway, a better chance to score.
Yeah.
And it uses the ratings of the player. It really does. It uses the ratings of the player to determine how good he's going to be on this shot.
Yeah, so
You
if he's a poor scorer, his percentage goes up maybe slightly, but
Yeah. It's just you take the scoring chance and you add to his scoring chances. So if he's got a big scoring chance, he's got a bigger one. If he has a little one, well, he's a little bigger one. Yeah. And I tried it, and if I was scoring breakaway after breakaway after breakaway, then okay, this doesn't
you would
work.
have got rid of it, probably.
Yeah, I would have got rid of it. But this works so well, and it's like, how exciting is a breakaway in hockey?
It's
and
fun.
APA doesn't have it in there, and it's like, why doesn't it have breakaways in this game except if through a rare shot? Because there's got to be 3 or 4 breakaways every hockey game, and that's the most exciting play in the game, So
It's funny. I like breakaways, but I hate the shootout.
I turn them off. I do.
I think here again, I'm not the hockey person.
I don't watch them.
Here's the thing. Regular season hockey, if it's a tie, I don't care. It's the way it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
I like
Now-
the ties.
Now, you know why they got rid of the tie? Gambling. People wanted a winner. Don't give me any other thing. It's gambling.
It could be,
Because-
yeah.
That's my opinion. Football, same thing. In college football, I think that's the most asinine overtime.
Oh my God, the overs go.
You want to talk about it's just stupid. In college football, same thing. Regular season. Guess what? I don't care if there's a tie. If
Yeah.
I'm watching as a fan,
You could have a you have a
Go ahead,
0-0 game in college. Go to overtime. It could end up 42-41, right?
It's stupid.
Because you
It's not
keep playing.
football.
You keep
It's not
playing.
football. Okay, here's the thing with college football. Go back to a bowl game I can see. You want a winner.
Yeah.
Get rid of this asinine overtime system.
I like how the NFL does it, and the reason I say that, I would change one
I
thing
would change
though.
one. Go ahead. You go with yours.
My thing is that I think each team should get a possession. Okay, so if you march down and even score a touchdown, I think the other team should still get the kickoff and be allowed a possession to tie it up. Now, after each team's had one possession, again, because
So that's
you
a
can't.
slight change. That's a slight change.
Yeah,
from-
you can't. We know we can't. It's not going to be 100% fair. But if each team gets a possession, okay. So now, yes, Team A gets their second possession. But if you can't stop them a second time, then I'm sorry. You need to step up and make a play. So
Here's
for me,
Okay.
that's what I would allow each team a possession no matter what. Now, again, a possession could be, you intercept the pass, or at least one offensive snap, I would say. So if you make an interception
If it's
and you get tackled and lose the ball, well, that's not technically your possession. Each team should have one offensive snap minimum in overtime. That's how I would do it.
Here's my one. Ties didn't bother me in NFL either. Okay. 2, sudden death didn't bother me. I get where people say it's not fair. My point, and I'm not disagreeing. But my point was, you played them for an hour. You had plenty of time. But okay, you don't want sudden death. Here's what I would do. For regular season, you play 8 minutes. You play it out 8 minutes.
That's a good idea too. Yeah. Yep.
If it's a tie, it's a tie.
Yep.
In playoffs,
That's probably the fairest way to do it there. That way,
in playoffs, you would play again 7 minutes 30 whatever. You play 7 minutes and 30 seconds. After that, it's sudden death. You've had your half a quarter to play it out. And someone can say, but it could be a long drive. Well, freaking stop them.
Yeah, you're right. No, I like that too. I like that too. I think, like I say, play it out. Do a half a quarter.
Now,
play it out.
I thought about 10 minutes, but I was like, 8 minutes regular season. You could probably do 8 minutes playoffs and then the other 7 minutes sudden death. And then if you got through the whole quarter, the next, say if you went double overtime football, it's sudden death. It's sudden death.
Yeah.
College,
Or maybe in the playoffs, what to do is, like I say, put after the 7.5 minute mark, it's sudden death at that point. You know what I mean?
That's what I would do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So in college, I hate overtime. I don't understand. You take
Yeah, I
the
hate that
kickoffs
too.
out of it. It's you. What do they start at the 20,
Yeah.
25? It's
Yep.
stupid. You know how you shut off shoot? I actually shut off shootouts too when I watch hockey.
Yeah, do
in
that.
regular
Hey,
season.
continue on the college football. I got to get a cold drink here.
Okay.
You continue on.
On the college football, I actually turn off overtime most of the time. It's stupid. It's a horrible overtime rule. The other thing they should fix on college football is forget about the top 4 teams. You can very easily do a playoff system, top 16 teams. And if you're not going to do that, or top 8, and I don't want to hear about team number 9 if you do top 8 or team number 17, you had all season to get up into the top 16, boo-hoo. If you're not going to do that, go back to the old way, because the bowl games are meaningless now. And I get it. It's all for money. The bowl games are totally meaningless. But, we still want to have the bowl games, the NCAA says. We want to make money. Hey, dumbasses. You have enough bowl games where you can put your playoff games into the bowl games. It's not that hard. 1AA, which it's not called 1AA anymore, but that's what it was called. What UMass used to play and what UConn used to play. Again, they play major. UMass gets destroyed. You can't call it major. They just major. They're like the stomp matches in wrestling when you play UMass in football. But what you can do, if 1AA, again, that's what I still call it, can play a playoff, how come major college football can't play a playoff? Well, how do you figure it out? Dumbasses in the NCAA. If you win your conference, you go to the playoffs. There's X amount of conferences, you go to the playoffs. And then you can throw some wild, quote unquote, wild cards, pick that large or some nonsense. I can't stand the college. They've ruined college football for me.
I don't like that either. You
and I used to love college football.
Yeah, I get the fairness behind it, because each team gets a possession and you get a chance to score. I get it, but boy, you can just go forever with that, you know.
It goes so long.
Yeah,
it's stupid. Again, college football regular season attack. You know what? In 1966, Notre Dame played Michigan State. And it was basically the national title game late in the year. And they needed someone to win. And you know what a coach had to make? Who was it? Was it Parsegian? Was it Notre Dame who decided to play for the tie? One of the two teams, it's,
I remember.
10-10. And they're sitting. You can watch most of the game on YouTube. They had to make a decision. Jesus, if we lose this game, we have no shot at the national title. And they decided, you know what? Play for the tie. Yeah, it's like
well, that's how hockey. That's why hockey added the when you get to when they first had the overtime in hockey, the 5-minute overtime. If you lost, you lost.
That's the way it should be.
And so what happened is, but what happened, Neil? But what happened? Follow this though.
I don't
follow this though. So when they first had hockey, right? If you went to overtime and lost, it was a loss, right? Yeah. So what would happen is teams would get to overtime and they'd be like, no one would try to score because they were all playing defense. And so you played 5 minutes of useless hockey. So that's why they said
you just played regulation and call it a tie.
Yeah. Well, what they finally did, which I do kind of like, is okay, here's the deal. Well, if you get to overtime in hockey, you won't lose the point. You'll still get the point for the tie if you get to overtime. So that encouraged teams to play more offense because there's nothing to lose at that point. So I thought that was pretty good.
That's okay, but I still hate shootout.
Yeah, for myself, there's nothing like the 3-on-3 overtime for the 5 minutes they play.
Do they still
overtime.
Do that?
They play 3-on-3 overtime first, and then they go to the shootout.
I watched a lot of hockey this year.
I used to love watching the Vegas Golden Knights because they were young, they were fast, and the Vegas 3-on-3. It was like watching roller hockey. They would go into the zone and they go out of the zone, and they skate in and they skate out, and they used the whole sheet of ice, and it was so fun to watch. It really was.
But again, here's the other thing: baseball. Now let's get to it, my friends. Do we really still need to start a runner at second base? That's the biggest bull crap. That is the stupidest.
They need to fix the baseball extra innings, and I know
and you know what? It actually extends the game because everyone keeps scoring when I watch. It's stupid.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't really watch baseball. I haven't seen
some baseball early in the year, and then I just.
They do need to do something because, like I say, the baseball can go on forever, and I'm okay with a tie in baseball too. I really am. You know.
Here's the thing with baseball: it's baseball. It is what it is. Okay, but the teams are so stupid. At least you get a guy on second to start the inning, and no one moves him over. So once in a while, they'll just put the bunt down and try to get and I'm sitting there going, you got a guy on second.
Yeah.
My God, does anyone know how to bunt? Can someone just bunt?
Yeah, I don't know how to solve baseball, but you got to admit that all these I would like to think that of all these sports, baseball has evolved the least since I was a kid. Because I look at hockey, how it's played now from when I was a kid. They've opened up the game. They get bigger zones. They've got rid of the 2-line pass. Hockey is so fast and it's moving. Football, they've really catered to the offense. They've cracked down on a lot of things. I think a little too much.
Too much, in my opinion.
But football is a different game. Basketball, I don't watch enough basketball to say, but baseball, I would say, is the one that the purists are like, this is baseball. It's never going to change. It's well, you'll never grow because things change. Things evolve. Hockey of the 70s would never work today.
Well,
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
The Flyers wouldn't win. They would never be on the ice the way they played. For baseball, to me, it's basic. Guy gets on. I know everyone says this, but they have to get on the mound, pitch, get in the batter's box, hit. Okay. Now, I've had discussions with my friends at work and other friends. Oh, they got to get rid of the shift. Hit the ball the other way.
Yeah.
They're giving you the other side.
Yeah.
Well, how do they do that? Well, okay, they're professional hitters. When they pitch to the outside, and the guy will make a mistake and pitch. I've seen it, right? And the guy still wants to pull it because they're all pulling. Everyone's trying to yank it out of the ballpark, right? You hit the ball the other way.
What if baseball did it like hockey? You get the extra innings.
Yes, you take a fielder away.
You take 2 fielders. You take 1 infielder, 1 outfielder away. Hockey plays with 3-on-3. Maybe baseball, you have
like when we were kids. When you didn't have enough players.
You remember mound to the out? Did you have to play mound to the out?
Yeah. Now we're gonna get to some fun talk.
You ever have that invisible runner on first base?
Absolutely.
Invisible runner. We have we playing 3-on-3. We didn't have enough players, so
we used to play 4-on-4, right? 8 people. We were, sometimes we could field 9-on-9. Yeah. It just depends. People go away. This you can't find who's punished. Who's for a week can't come out of their house. And here, let's talk about those. Do you want to talk about homebrew rules? Here we go. To the mound, right? You throw to the mound, and if you didn't get the first, you're out. That was our mound rule, right? So we didn't have to play with a first baseman. You threw.
Yeah, you would throw to the pitcher. Yeah.
Okay. Then, because you only had 1 infielder, or you could go. You could either do, however you want to set it. So I'm a righty, right? If I hit the ball the right, the opposite way, I'm out. We played with. Actually, you had to pull the ball, right? Because you didn't have enough people. So you play with a pitcher. The other team would catch for you. That way, you're not chasing the ball. Yeah. Now it's always phenomenal that we actually. And we didn't play fast pitch. It was like a medium.
Yeah, we never had a catcher. It was always like softball. Just hit it.
So we was like medium to slow. Like you only and we. So someone would retrieve the ball. You didn't really stand behind the plate.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a play at the plate, the pitcher usually covered the plate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are a couple. Then the ghost runner, imaginary runner.
Yeah.
And those were always the best arguments, right? I just doubled. Of course, the guy's going to score from second. Well, he's slow. How do you know my ghost is slow? He's fast. We have these idiotic discussions as kids, and it was kind of a joke. But that was.
Yeah, we had to our ballpark. If you can picture this, when I was in my early 10 to 13.
Yeah.
We lived right across the street from a park, right?
Yeah, we walked not too far.
The problem with our park, though, it had a big baseball screen, so we could play baseball, and it had the diamond, but it was shaped like a soccer field. Or a football field.
Yeah.
We had no left field and no right field. If you can picture that, it was just like I say, a football field, and then it was just trees and weeds and everything. So everything we learned to hit the center field only, because if you hit left field or right field, you lost the ball. Yeah, and so we never could get anybody to come play us because why would we come play you? You don't have any left field or right field. I'm like, boy, never really thought about that. So every game we played on the road. At other people because they had a normal baseball field. But when I think about that, I think, we hit center field all the time because we had no left field.
Now, when we used to field 9-on-9s with neighborhood teams, right? So when you played like other quote unquote neighborhoods, you're just talking about like a couple of blocks away. We went to go play. The Goodwill actually had a decent baseball, and they wouldn't chase you away. They'd let you play, right? So we show up, we play at the Goodwill, and you have your neighbor. Again, this was more like slow pitch softball, except overhand. No one wanted to pitch because you're basically getting a lot of line shots back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now we're sitting there going, you're trying to make these kind of okay. Now try not to hit the ball right back. And that was one of our unquoted. Don't hit the ball back up the middle, right? So we had the Murphy brothers, Brian, Keith, and Mike. Mike was the oldest, Brian the second, and Keith the youngest. So again, we all took turns pitching. Like when it was Keith's turn. I mean, everyone, and you hated pitching. You just like, because some asshole is going to line that thing. And you got to be, so I would, like when I pitched and I literally would get into that, almost like softball mode.
Yeah.
Like if you ever pitched in slow pitch, you throw it and again.
You're ready, yeah.
It wasn't slow pitch, but it wasn't fast. You kind of like medium, right?
Yeah.
You could throw a curveball, you couldn't throw a fastball. And we actually did, someone would catch. We had crappy catching gear that the teams would, if someone someone would catch, not necessarily exactly behind the plate, and Keith Murphy, the youngest, had to, and I'm just sitting there going, oh God. And he was a good athlete, and I kept going, Mike, we better get your brother out because he didn't react well. The ball, and he took a shot off his head. And I remember Mike Murphy going, walk it off, Keith, walk it off. And we're sitting there going, I think Keith's dead. And he had an egg? You call it an egg?
Oh, yeah, yeah. What we used to do,
oh my God,
there'd be like just two of us, me and another guy,
yeah,
and we, three of us, whatever, and we would pitch from the plate to home to the pitcher's mound and use the backstop as the wall.
To play like a little wiffle, sort of a
and
wiffle
so we had three sections. So a ground ball that made it to the wall was a single.
Oh, that's cool.
If you hit the bottom section and it dropped, it was a double. The middle was a triple, and if you hit the top section and it dropped without catching, it was a home run. It was kind of neat. So anything over the fence was an out. So you were trying to train yourself to try to hit low. So you wanted to hit the fence and have it drop.
Yeah.
And me and a buddy would play.
Fun little game there.
Yeah, that was a way around having only a couple of people, you know. And so sometimes you'd have like one fielder and one pitcher because the three of us would just rotate.
Yeah.
And I played one time, just me and a buddy. We were just hacking around, and I'm pitching from the plate, and I pitched it, and like you said, he hit it right back at me, and I just went boom. And just I was a decent baseball player, and I pitched it, and he just smacked it on a rope, and I remember putting up my glove, and I caught it right in front of my face. It would have destroyed me. It really would have.
I just remembered saying to Mike, and we're all there, we need to get your, because he could get, and now again, all I could think of was Mike's, the Murphys, the parents are going to kill him because he's responsible for his two younger brothers.
Yeah.
I said, and you know what, Keith, I go, how'd you guys, because I'm sure, like, he goes, nah, we got around it. I go, what did you tell your parents? Just out of curiosity. Keith fell down. I'm not lying. He fell down after he got hit in the head.
yeah. Drive says, how many used the pitch back? Oh, we had the pitch back as a kid. You throw it, and you get the pop up, and you hit it, and get the ground ball. And we used to use that because that had little strike zones. So we would use that when we played wiffle ball. That was our strike zone.
That a lot. We used that out front when we played wiffle ball up against we had this really cool wiffle ball. It was soft, but you could still throw it. I don't know how to explain it, but you could throw the most vicious. It didn't have the holes like a wiffle ball.
Oh, really?
You could throw the most vicious curveballs. And the thing was like, it would dance like a knuckleball at times. And you want to talk about swings and misses, if you could make it dance, it was hilarious. But you could crush that ball, right? And you could hit a window, and it wouldn't do any damage.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I mean, still, you could play wiffle ball. I don't know how to explain it. It was softer than a real wiffle ball, but it was enough where you could play. And I'll never forget, if you really hit it, you put it over our house, and you have to go look for it. And that was like gold. My brother you better find that wiffle ball, because if I used it without him, because I was his wiffle ball, like they found this, and we'd have these massive wiffle ball tournaments when we were kids. And then when we played in back of Billy and Dave's house, he made he took like a thicker piece of, not card, what the hell is it called? Wood. I can't think of and he made a strike zone, and you knew that's how we called our balls and strikes. Did you ever have your friends call balls and like someone who wasn't playing, and the arguments that would ensue? Are you out of your fucking mind? That was a ball.
I remember when I was a kid, we used to play in our backyards, and I was probably 5, and I still drive by the spot that I played as a kid, and we had his yard, and there was like in left field there was like the main road, and there was this little roll of bushes about this big, but that was our wall, that was our fence, And one time, on the kids I was playing with were older than me, and I was 5 or 6, and I hit it, and it just cleared the bushes for the home run, and it was like, and to this day, here I am 50 years later still talking about this home run, and when I drive by that house, I go, see that? I hit that home run right there. That's the only home run I ever hit as a kid, and that was so much fun. Yeah, because we had little leagues. Like my buddy had a grass yard, and then when I grew up, when I was younger, we had a long driveway. We had no yard to drive, so that would be the artificial turf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That'd be playing the artificial turf in my yard, and then his yard was the grass turf. And we had a good time with that.
Good times. Did we? Again, I think I've mentioned this before on my chat. We played this other game. Someone learned. I never went to camp. I wasn't one of those kids who got sent to camp. But the Mansfields came back and they said we learned this game at camp, and it was basically you toss the ball up, you hit it. And we played with a softball in the street. And so again, you had to control, like, don't hit a house, numbnuts. We're gonna break a window. So we lived on a side street, so there wasn't a ton of traffic. You could play in the street, and the object was to hit the ball in whatever we determined was in play, which again would be in the street. It could bounce out of play, and then the person who somehow fielded the ball wherever now became a bowler.
Rollie at the bat.
Is that what? And you put the bat down. Oh, I must have talked to you about that. Maybe we did talk about this. I know I talked to you, but I just don't
Rollie
remember.
at the bat. Yep.
And you had to. It was a wicked. Then you had to become a bowler. So now you roll. Now the person who puts the bat down is like a goalie. If the talent of this game was, you wanted to roll the ball but not have it bounce up. Because if it bounced up and the guy caught it,
you rolled it you caught the ball, you roll it at the bat, and if it would hit the bat and pop up, he could catch it and he still stayed up. But if it hit the bat and died or hit him and he didn't get it, then
then you got to hit.
And sometimes you would try to lob it so you would hit the bat and it would bounce back and you'd have no chance to get it. But we would play that. Yeah, we played in my grandparents' yard, and they had this huge ass pool.
So much
and
fun.
we would like be hitting it across the pool, and like you couldn't even see the bat. You would try to throw it at the Rollie at the bat. Rollie at the bat was
fun
called.
Game. Then you play your pickle, between sewer, whatever the hell they're called, drains or whatever, in the middle. We always had different ways of some sort of bizarro sort of baseball.
You figured it out as a kid. You figured it. You were outside playing, and you weren't sitting there like this. You know what I mean? You were out there playing, and you had your buds.
Now I sit there and do that. But when I was a kid,
that's what I do now. Yeah, too.
Playing.
I do that, and I yell at the kids, "Hey, get off your phone!
But,
your kids, get off your phone!"
Basketball, we played horse or. What was the other? Hangman? Whatever was it? Horse and the other.
Horse,
basically, they're both horses, but there was a different version of another. We played a lot of 2-on-2, 3-on-3s. We were lucky. The kids in our neighborhood or the immediate neighborhoods, they had some decent-sized driveways who had hoops, so you could play a fun quarter court. One kid it was almost a half court. Their driveway was so big. But that's where no matter what, you had to learn some sort of inside game or put your shot up quick. Because some kids were much taller than you. Some kids were real good. I was okay, but it was fun.
We had the long driveway. Before I moved to the house that had the baseball field right across the street, I lived on a long driveway that had fences. So we had a hockey rink. Now, there wasn't anything behind the net, so if you missed a shot, you had to chase it. But you had boards on the sides.
That's cool.
And back then there wasn't a lot of cars, and so we had the whole driveway to ourselves. And
did you guys ever make the hockey rink? We had an old elderly couple.
Oh yeah.
The guy, before they moved, every year when Billy and Dave moved in, I guess they used to make a hockey rink. Or no, the elderly couple made I think Billy and Dave actually asked them, And then the elderly couple, the gentleman goes, I used to make the hockey rink for our kid. Like he knew, because Billy and Dave goes, we used to make a hockey rink where, we lived before. Is it okay if we use part of your yard? That guy made a hockey rink for 4 years in a row for us. And he would come out, treat it, because his grandkids would come over, and we became good friends with them, not just in the winter, but in the summer. So and then they moved. But my God, you want to talk about like what we thought were epic, probably horrible hockey games that we played, but we got to skate, and I was horrible. But man, I got to skate, and I stunk, and it was just fun. That's where we all were practicing our Bobby Orrs.
Yeah.
And Billy and Dave, they made nets, and we had them chicken wire nets. They made kids.
Yeah.
We had them set up on both. And again, it wasn't like whatever, but it seemed big to us.
Yeah, it was. We had to say that we had this pond behind a buddy's house, and it was kind of in the woods, and they just had started to develop the area.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, come down," and it used to grow these reeds or weeds. I think you call them reeds.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we would go down there into this pond, and they were tall. They were really tall, and we would rip them out, and we would clear the pond up. We would go down with yucky clothes in the fall, and we would clear it out. In fact, I remember one year there was a big mound. It was a beaver's or a groundhog's nest. We felt bad destroying it, but it was sticking up in the middle of the ice. So
got to play hockey, man.
Yeah, so we cleared out this decent size.
You have fun.
For kids. It was decent size. It wasn't a regulation rink, but it was a decent sized rink, and so every year we would clean it out. And one year they started to push back the woods, and they put in a whole housing development back there. In fact, some of the Bruins were living back there at the time. Yeah, cool. And some of the guys went up and grabbed some of the wood from some of the houses, and they made boards, not regulation, but just like this high, like the 20-foot pieces of wood that were like only about this high, and we put them all around, and then they grabbed a couple of old pieces from behind the net, and so they're hammering in nails. We're putting all these boards together.
When you were a kid.
Yeah, it's like, gee, was great. No one ever bugged us. No one ever come down and said, "Hey, where'd you get all that wood?" It was just as far as I know, they were scrap pieces.
I know. I've talked about this on my channel when we done chats with Al. Thank you, Dave. This is fun. I enjoy it. I always like the chats. And sometimes the reason why when I can't get people to do chats with me, and I love the chat. Don't get me wrong, but I like to have someone. You just talk and stuff. And I would never do what I did now. And like you're diving at pucks with literally no equipment. And I know how hard could some of, it's still, you're diving at pucks with no equipment. I dove at everything. You take that shot off the thigh.
No lifting.
Yeah.
You didn't have any shin pads on. No lifting.
Listen, don't hit me in the nuts with that or the head. But if you're going to hit me anywhere, hit me in the head and not the nuts. Then I'll tell you, and I know we've talked about this, that orange ball for street hockey. You want to talk about how fast we stopped playing with that thing? Big! Ow!
I get pictures of bruises all over my body from that thing.
We went to the tennis ball real quick.
Oh yeah. I played net one time. I had glasses on. I'm playing net, and we didn't have any face pads or anything.
Yeah, no.
We're playing with a tennis ball, and I made the save, and I'm down on the ground, and the guy took a slap shot, and I went boom, and my glasses just went. They were hanging off my ears. They busted in the middle. I was like, "Oh man, really? What was I thinking?" And then one of us got smart, and we actually grabbed those old masks that go over your face, like the '70s masks, and they were just the old Milik ones, and they were cheap. But you know something? They worked. They worked. If you took a shot in the face with that mask on, you were A-OK.
Billy, my friend Billy, big Bruins fan. I know exactly the masks. They're not regulation, but you could get them, right? At least these weren't. I don't think his. It might have been. He might have picked up I forgot. But do you remember? He did the Jerry Cheevers thing. It was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, he didn't get hit in the face. I think what Cheevers did, and I don't know if it's true or not, but what we thought he did was every time supposedly he took a puck off, he would put stitch marks. I don't know if that's, or he just put them there.
I heard that every time he got hit in the face and he thought he would get stitches, they would put the things on there like, okay, this mask saved you from getting. Now, obviously, it wasn't the exact spot he got hit, but the idea was he jazzed it up. I was like, yep. This saved you from 7 stitches. Yep.
Billy took paint and he stitched up because we were big, and he would have put it on, and he had one, and the other kid got mad. He didn't have one of those. He had an old,
catcher's mask.
Yeah. And that's what he wore in net. He's like, I want one of those. And we had fun with street hockey. Then we played roller skate hockey. And we actually tried to have the goalies on roller skates, but
it's hard. Yeah.
We quickly changed that to they were in sneakers because
yeah. When in my league we're about half and half. We have half the goalies that wear rollerblades and half that wear sneakers because it's difficult to play roller hockey net. Yeah,
I can skate forward. I can skate. I'm not now, but I'm talking about the old metal Sparks roller skates.
Oh, Jeepers, yeah.
Not the ones that clipped. Well, that was my first ones that clipped on, but then I had ones that looked like hockey.
Yeah.
The black, and they were metal. And you want to talk about skating? I'll never forget when they broke and I was skating and you're like, ah!
Oh, yeah.
Then I got
so at least you could play, though. At least you get outside and play. Did that,
Then I had the rubber, then they went to the nicer ones, the rubber.
Yeah, we were playing a tennis court and the ball would go off and we'd have to walk through the grass to get the ball on our rollerblades and walk all the way back. And that's what we did. And,
that was fun. We played all different types of versions of football. I hated the Nerf ball. I always wanted to play with I couldn't throw a Nerf ball to save my life. When I was in high school, I could throw a football 65 yards, no lie. I could throw a football 65 yards. Again, that's without a pass rush. I mean, just line up and wing it. And I could do it. A Nerf ball, I just never had because it's a technique of, I would throw a Joe Cap back. Guys, let's play with the Nerf ball. No, I don't want to
throw it. Yeah.
I can't throw it. But that was a lot of fun.
Me and my buddy used to get on the high school field with a real football.
You ever kick field goals for
I was going to say, we kicked field goals. We'd get on there for hours and kick. So I could never hit anything more than 30 yards.
But you could hit a 30-yarder.
And you know how I hit it? And
straight ahead?
We
I'm a straight ahead kicker.
I tried everything. Yeah. I think I was a soccer. And again, we would just run. Now, I tried to be fair. I didn't run up like a kickoff. I would run up. I would just take the 3 steps.
You had the rules, yeah.
Yeah, so actually one of us would hike it to the other one, and he would catch it, and then the hiker would go back and do the kick.
Oh,
or other times we would just hold it. But we try to do it for real. So I remember that I would set it up on the 20-yard line, so that'd be a 30-yard kick, and I would kick it, and I could never hit any more than 30. In fact, one time I kicked it from 30 yards, it hit the bar.
And went over.
It went up in the air. It hit the bar again and dropped in for the good field goal. And I could I would hit the bar and go in every time. I could never kick any more than 30.
We would play this bizarro. You would start. It was a soccer field, but they had the soccer post that doubled as a football thing. But they never played football there. They had stopped playing football there but they played soccer still. So the field was kept in decent shape. And the cops wouldn't go that far back there to kick you off. And it wasn't like you had to pay to get, so we'd go and we'd play. We'd start at one end of the soccer field, right? Because they no longer played football, so it was soccer. And you'd have 3 passes to get as close as you could, and you had to line up and try to kick a field goal. Oh. So you'd hike to yourself, and we'd play, me, Billy, and Dave, we did this, right? And you'd throw, and you try to get something where you knew they could catch the ball, where you could reach. And I had this orange football that, my God, we all loved it. You could play at night. It was freaking beautiful, right? But my brother, when he played football later in the Western Mass League, after his college days were done, he played a little bit of football. He had that. They don't even use it in college anymore, but they used to use the kicking. You put the ball down.
Oh, yeah.
It was a not the tee, it was the block, the kicking block when you kick extra points. High school they don't even do it anymore, but they used. So I had an extra one of those, and so you could get the lift on the ball, and you get, and then you got to line up for the field goal. And I soccer style, I could never make it, but I could kick it pretty good straight ahead. And when you're younger, you're more limber, and like 30 yards, we were all pretty good from, again, no pass rush, no nothing. You just lining up and kicking the ball, and you could take X amount of steps. But my God, when there's something exhilarating making a field goal. I don't know. Yeah. It's fun.
So. Yeah. I remember we got a hold of some chalk or some lime one time.
Yeah.
And I remember going out and just sprinkling an end zone. Yeah, because we never had end zones. And just the idea of catching it in between the chalk lines for the end zone, you just felt like, it was like, man, I'm in an end zone. And it was the same damn grassy field that we were playing on, but you had lines now.
But
And you were in the end zone. I was like, I'm in the end zone.
And then my friends would laugh when we played football, whether 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 8-on-8, whatever. And if I was, we'd all take turns quarterback and doing different things, running. And they go, like, if I scrambled a lot, they go, you watched Fran Tarkenton highlights yesterday, didn't you? I'm like, why? How do you know? Just throw the ball, Al. Just throw the ball.
We had one time. This is a funny story here. I know we've had a lot of funny stories, but there was very few times we had a lot of people playing. There was one time we somehow got 8-on-8 or 9-on-9 for
those
football.
are good games when you could get them.
You know, and it only happened that one time when I can remember. And so we lined up, and I was a quarterback, and so we would rotate.
How did you guys do the pass rush? If you had an 8, did you have a straight pass rush, or did you still count?
Oh, we had to do 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3
Okay.
Mississippi. Yeah.
Yeah, we did 2 Mississippis.
So check this out. So check this out. This is my inner Tom Brady was happening in 1979. Okay, so and again, we didn't have any illegal formations. It doesn't matter. We just played. So I told this one guy. I said, "Look, I says you're gonna snap it to me. You 5 guys line up on the left, all 5.
Yep.
So I put 5 guys at the left, right?
Yep.
And I says, here's what I want you to do. Now, this was the first ever wide receiver screen in history that I ever saw. I'm not saying I invented it, but so I says, snap into me. I got 5 guys here. And I looked at one guy. I says, you stop. You don't go out. You are the 4. Go deep. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to throw it to you, who is not going to move.
A lot of running room.
Right? And then you're going to have 4 blockers in front of you. So that was the wide receiver screen before it was a wide receiver screen,
That's
right?
funny.
So what do you think happens?
Touchdown. Pick. Touchdown. On you guys.
I get the snap.
Yeah.
And I turn and I fired to the kid.
Bounce off
And
his head.
the kid took off.
Yeah.
One of the kids who was supposed to go out for the pass didn't move, saw the ball coming, and ducked, thinking that the other kid was going to catch it. So I had 4 guys go out for the pass, and one guy stay back. But the guy that was supposed to stay back went out, and one of the guys that was supposed to stay back stayed in, and he just watched the pass go over his head. It was incomplete. I was like, I don't know how else I can spell it. I looked him in the eye and went, you stop. I got to get the ball. I'm going to throw it to you. You don't move. Got it. It was the perfect call. Got it. Throw it to him. Where'd you go?
Yeah. Okay. I'll share you a funny high school football story. We didn't win a game my senior year. We only had 19 guys on our team, right?
Oh, Iron Man football. Woo.
Well, low male enrollment, plus guys failed off the team before we started. Okay. So we had 19 guys. So we're running practice, and I'm fooling around, and I could throw the ball, right? And I'm like sitting there, there's no way in hell. My brother's like, tell him you're a good quarterback. Nah, I'm not. You're gonna get killed on this team. I just want to hit people. I'm not. So I'm fooling around, and I'm throwing the ball, and Coach Provo's going, "You're the quarterback." What? I don't. He goes, "Well, you seem to know all the plays anyway." Okay, fine. I don't want to be quarterback because we had a 6-game season. In that 6-game season, I had a bruised ribs, a concussion, and I ended my season with a broken wrist.
Oh,
I made it through 4 games. It was fun. I would do it again. That was like, I loved it, right? But so now, the kid we had, I'm not going to name names, but the kid who played, what's it go? Guard, no, center,
tackle?
guard,
Tackle?
Center, tackle, guard, right? So the kid who played left tackle next to the center, right? It's the tackle, right? I'm trying to remember. I play all these games.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
One of them, doesn't matter. He would, if we didn't call every play on one, he would literally jump off sides. And I remember the coach going to him, Steve, you can't be, and they would swear at you. And our coaches were nice, actually. They were actually, but they would use some vocabulary, but they never grabbed you. I went to another high school. They grabbed you by the face mask.
Oh, yeah.
They never did that here. Okay. They would talk sternly, and then, 19 guys, we're out here doing the best we can, and they know that, right? He goes, Steve, you're going to get, I almost said my real name. Holy crap. You're going to get the quarterback killed, right? And you're going to get the running backs killed. He goes, we already do a good job of getting them killed anyway, because we played some, scrimmages. And we actually did okay in scrimmages, but we were playing like JV teams from leagues above us,
Okay,
which were our level. We were varsity, but we were playing Division III. But we could only schedule because of where we were located. We would play these upper echelon teams. They're JV, and we played at that.
Yep.
You know, we were pretty at that level,
Mhm.
and we were close in a few games, but we didn't win any games, right? So, you know how long it takes for the opposing team in a real game to figure out you're pretty much snapping 98%
Yeah.
of the time on one, and they're sitting there salivating,
Oh, yeah.
and you're sitting there going, "Oh God!" And now we're in shotgun, right? The kid couldn't snap shotgun. Our regular center got hurt. Now Steve's snapping shotgun.
Oh,
right?
boy. On one. Yeah.
My brother was laughing so hard after the game as I was getting a royal beating, right? And my mother, and I remember telling him, do not let mom, I don't care if I'm dying on the field, do not let mom come on the field. Let me die, right? This kid is snapping balloons to me, right? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, blue 45, you call your play out, and I'm watching. I go, now they know we're going on one because he snaps on one no matter what, right? He's bad enough he jumps when he's the guard or the tackle. Set, hup. Here's a snap, and it's like up and away like a beautiful balloon. And I'm watching the ball, I'm like, and now I'm looking down like,
Here they are.
there they are. I'm like, better.
When I was in Little League, I did a lot of pitching. I was a decent pitcher for a while.
Pitching was fun.
And then when I get up to a certain age, I was like, I don't want to pitch anymore. I just want to play in the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was a decent baseball player as a young kid. And I was on the team we won the town championship with. I was 13 years old. Won the town championship, right?
You remember that stuff too.
I remember that. Yeah, we had a good team. We played a 2-game series against the I think we were the American and we played the National.
Yeah.
And we beat them in a 2-game series. It was kind of neat. It was a best of 3. We played at 2 different fields and we won them both. We won the championship under the lights.
Yeah,
it was a big field. It was like, oh my gosh, it was so cool.
As a kid was awesome.
Yeah, the first game was like at a day field, and the second game was under the lights. It's like, oh, this was awesome. The only game I've ever played under the lights. I think it was great. And but anyway, it was during that season, and the coach, we had a practice one time, and the coach was like, all right, we're going to try out everybody to see if we can get another pitcher on the team. And I was like, well, I'm a good pitcher here, but I don't want to, but I'll try it, right? So he puts me on the mound, and he puts his son as the catcher. His
backstop
son,
Yeah.
who was the biggest guy in the team. Got to put him somewhere. Usually he had him at first base, but sometimes he would catch. So he put him in the catcher's gear. And I'm on the mound, and I'm humming strikes. And this kid couldn't catch any of them.
Oh.
Off his glove, off to the side. Yeah. So everything I threw down the middle ended up at the backstop. And the coach was like, okay, next pitcher. And I'm like, give me a guy that will catch the ball.
Yeah.
He's like, and I could see it in his eyes, like, this guy can't hit the plate because everything's going to the backstop. It's going to the backstop because your kid can't catch a strike. Seriously, I was flying him down the middle. And this kid was like off his glove and this and that between his legs. I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, you're killing me here. You know? And then the next kid come up and he's throwing lollipops with the catcher caught. I was like, okay, you're the pitcher.
Man,
dude, I was
lollipop's gonna get crushed.
I was firing him in there. The kid couldn't catch him, but whatever. You know, that was my thing.
We remember.
Things we remember. But let's wrap this up here.
Yeah.
We went a long time tonight. We had a great chat going on tonight. To kind of
hope everyone enjoyed it. I did. Thank you very much, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, it was fun coming on. You never know what we're going to talk about here. It was fun talking about some of the new games we were playing. That's for sure. Some of the things that we're going to be playing, and some of the things we want to play, and some of the things we don't want to play, and then we get to just go back and what was fun in the chat here is when we were talking about some of our sports memories as a kid. We had a lot of people writing in about their memories.
Yeah, as I was going.
Yeah, they remembered Rolly at the bat, and they remembered kind of.
I'm telling you, I might watch that as a professional game.
I still don't know how you couldn't catch it when you roll it at the bat. I still don't know how you wouldn't catch it off the bat. You know what I mean? Because you're standing right there.
it would take some weird. I pretty much would catch. It was a fun game. I just remember that game. I didn't know what the hell it was called.
It
But
was a backyard summer game. It was really fun.
It was a fun game. Again, we didn't talk about lawn jarts. They'd never give those back. We didn't play it right. We just threw those things at people. Well, never mind. I don't want to incriminate myself.
I still may or may not play that once in a while.
I may still allegedly.
They're illegal to buy and sell now. It's just too bad.
I know. They're spears. They're killing spears.
Not if you play it right.
Not if you play it right.
Now they sell the blunt. It's like a weight. You can throw the jot and it just thud. It's like
that's not fun.
Yeah, it's like playing dots with a Super Ball. Yay. So, but anyway. Oh, and Tabletop says that it was Indian baseball. They called that rolling game.
Oh, wow.
We just called it rolly at the bat.
I honestly don't remember what we called it. It was just a lot of fun. Yep. And again, Tabletop Sports Delaware, our good friend Chris. Hope all is well. It was a really fun time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's good. Just kind of catching up and just chatting about some things, and didn't think we'd go this long. But that's what Saturday nights are for. You never know.
Saturday nights are meant for chatting. Get a little chatting in. Saturday.
Yeah, that's always a fun time to get on there every now and then on a Saturday night and just kind of yuck it up. So, but Al, hang on. We got some prizes for you offline here.
Okay.
Well, no. What did they say that we have? Was it consolation prizes or what was the Bruins one? All the guests on the show get a gift certificate to the Watertown Coat Factory. Remember that? Whatever it was.
My last Bruins memory, and then I'll shut up. I know I probably won't, but do you remember mini one-on-ones?
Oh yeah.
I love mini one-on-ones. I remember every once in a while, mini one-on-one will be delayed. Like whatever if they something. But mini. I used to wait for mini one-on-ones.
Yeah, but that was after the first period, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. They would have that, I always thought it was live. I was like, "There's no one in the stands." Oh,
I used to think they actually didn't. They filmed it somewhere. I did too at first, but then the man.
But Assabet over Cohasset 2-0. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My friends actually played on mini one-on-one. I rooted so hard, like I was rooting for the Bruins. They made it. They won. I forgot because it was like a mini tournament. You would advance if you won.
Yeah.
I think they won twice and then they lost, but it was fun to watch them.
I know some people that were on that too. Some people actually played with. Yeah, it was kind of fun watching them play.
I'm gonna have to look that up on YouTube. I'm gonna type in Bruins mini one-on-one.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Someone who actually recorded those.
I would imagine so. But that was early.
Peter Puck. Remember Peter Puck?
Oh yeah, I remember Peter Puck. Yeah, I was a Peter Puck fan club.
Ooh, cool.
I still have the mug somewhere from Peter Puck. Yep, I had the hat, the shirt, the sweatshirt.
Fond memory.
Peter Puck was great stuff. So, all righty, guys. Thanks everybody that tuned in tonight for 3.5 hour extravaganza tonight.
Extravaganza!
Holy cow! Yeah, we just had a. And here I was about when I texted you earlier, I was just like sitting there. We were watching some TV, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just crash early tonight. I was like, yeah, who wants to chat? We'll get on for an hour and just kind of chat. I'm kind of tired, but here we are, just...
Never know. That's why you tune in.
Yeah. Sometimes these things turn into a fun night, and we got a lot of things to talk about, and it's wide open on a Saturday night, so we'll have to definitely do this again and chat it up there. The old Saturday night chat was out. Those are a fun time there, and so we try to continue that.
I gotta start doing that again. At least every other Saturday. I don't know.
Once a month. I mean, I like to get on here once a month and chat. You know what I mean? Because it's like we do all our games, we do all our streaming, we have our things, but it's sometimes it's nice just to kind of sit and talk and not have to worry about playing a game and not have to worry about screwing up.
It is a presentation, and you're enjoying it. We're talking to the chat a bit. But
still, you need to keep the game moving to keep so. But this way here, there's nothing to keep. You just chat. So
Tabletop Sports Delaware Chris has said he is game to start chats with Al. That's all I need to know. We're going. I think we'll bring on anytime Dave wants to be. Maybe we'll ask Big Paulie. I got a crew again.
It's always fun, even when I'm not on. It's fun to be in the chat and just kind of hang out and chat with people.
I was telling someone, and again we'll end, but we went to Nurse Teresa's brother's house, 4th of July. Nice cookout. Really had a fun time. And so people are like, you do YouTube, and then how much money do you make? I don't make any money. Are you monetized? Yeah, I make like a shekel every 3 days.
Yeah.
I just want to get where they have to pay me once, and I can have the person eat crow who said I would never get paid by YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, you get that $10 check in the mail, you
I
know.
want that. Okay. And they go, well, what do you do? I go, there's an older gentleman there, and he was a Bruins fan. I saw he had the hat. It was the Teresa's sister-in-law's father. Very nice man. And we talk sports and hockey and baseball and this. And he goes, and Teresa goes, oh yeah, Al does these old games on YouTube. And so he didn't, and he obviously knows what YouTube is. And I said, no, I kind of do these games. It's fun. We have a fun community. And, I was telling him about, I mentioned, not that he would know who you guys were, but I mentioned, I go, there's I go, Dave's from Massachusetts. I have a friend, Ron from Vermont. I have another friend, Anthony from Arizona. I go, I met really nice people. The community's fun, blah, blah, blah. And so now and then Teresa goes, that's fun. I don't, I like the chats with Al. I used to watch them and people liked them. I go, yeah, I was surprised. I go, I don't get thousands of you, but people like them. They look forward to chats with Al. I go, my other friends do chats. I go, and they're fun. People look forward to them. So I was explaining one time, I said, and again, they don't know. I'm just naming. I go, I had my friend Chris and John, John, and and Ron, right? It was us four, right? That's always, I go, and my friend Chris, he goes one day, I can do voices. I go, what do you mean you can do voices? Because he sang one time, beautiful song. I don't know if you ever saw it. It was beautiful, right? Not on mine, but I actually made him actually do. But he did it when they were doing Dungeons and Dragons with ID, right? Mm-hmm. I go, like, who can you do? He goes, I can do a lot of it. He goes, I can do Kermit real well. Really? And so I turned to him, and you want to talk about laughter, just the thought process that they had? I go, yeah, we gave Kermit a coke habit and a hooker habit, and he was an abused spouse. Miss Piggy used to beat him. And I said, if you can go back and find that, to me was hilarious. And we would do this, and it was funny. And he can do these voices. I said, but, everyone didn't want to, things change. I go, I never had a more fun time in my life to pretend that we had a talk radio show and we could do these stupid gags and talk some sports, which we really didn't talk a lot of sports on those. And then I would do what I don't do anymore, talk stuff that would piss off people.
Oh, yeah.
And I decided I don't want to do that anymore because I remember one of our friends would go, Al, my friend would agree with me, just let's not do that. People
I'm the same way, no sense.
So I decided not, and I did it in a joking, well, not always, but a joking sort of way. But I said that was so much fun. And then one of our friends there, Joe, goes at the picnic, goes, yeah, that sounds like fun. I go, yeah, it was like having a radio show every Saturday night. We go and Teresa goes, they would go 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I was at the rink, and we'll wrap it up. I was at the rink Monday night scorekeeping a game.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this league that I'm not familiar with the teams very much. So I have to go up and say, what's the name of your team? And what's the name of your, because I put in the stats when I get home on the computer. And so I went up to this one team and said, hey, what's the name of the team? He's like, oh, we're the Road Dogs, whatever. And he goes, oh, by the way, he goes, I like that new hockey game that you're playing.
That is cool.
And I was like,
cool.
What are you talking about?
YouTube. That's
he
cool.
goes, he goes, I mean, he's like, yeah, the game of the cards you were playing, that hockey game of the cards. He's like, hey, I watched your videos. I was like,
that's awesome.
Do I know this guy? I must know this guy somehow.
Did you know him?
Well, he had his hockey gear with his mask on, so I didn't recognize it. And I'm thinking, I was like, I think this is the guy that I knew years ago from a hockey team, and we were just Facebook friends, but I haven't seen him in 10 years.
Wow, that's
so
cool.
Occasionally I go on Facebook with these things. I almost did tonight, but I didn't, So I'll do both YouTube and Facebook. So I think when I did one of the Bruins games with Apple Hockey, he saw it, and he comes up, he goes, oh, I saw that hockey game. I was like, okay, double Z-list celebrities, Ron likes to say. It was kind of neat. Someone coming up and saying, hey, I saw your stuff out of the blue.
That's fun. So, again, we have fun with the community, good people in the community.
Yep,
it's fun.
Good time there.
I appreciate everyone who comes watch. How close are you to 1,000, Dave? 11?
Like 988, something like that.
Guys, we gotta get Uncle Dave to that 1,000.
I got a couple this week. It just out of the blue. Ron really flew up over 1,000, so good for him. Yeah, it's just been slow, steady work.
So all you got to do, that's we've all. I'm not going to say grind, but we've all worked on our channels hard, just like everyone else does.
I'm trying to do a lot of informative videos now. In fact, especially with the APA stuff and
people like that.
A few other things. Like I said, I get a lot of compliment. Someone now is following my Strat utility videos that I'm doing. because I did. Not many people use the Strat Hockey utility. I
That
do.
is very cool for the card and dice.
Yeah, it is. It does a phenomenal job. You can play the game right in the utility. It keeps all your stats for you. I wish it integrated with Strat PC because that would be the ultimate. So you could play cards and dice in your PC season, but you can't. But I heard the guy that made it is working on a newer one, and I heard that last week too, and I heard it a few months ago. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe the developer of that utility will come up with a new one there, and that would be great because we need a good hockey stat program for cards and dice. But yeah, so this guy emailed me today, and he's just like, "Hey, you've done a great job with the Strat utility. I've been trying to learning it, and I didn't know how to do it, and I found your videos, and now I can do the Strat utility and everything." So that's what I like to do is if I can find something to help somebody else out, I like to do that. Not that I'm always right, not that everything I do is correct, but
No one's always right.
yeah. So, and JT, yep. JT will wrap this up with his comment there. This is the best community. I discovered it just the last few months, but you're glad you did. And we're glad you're here with us, JT, because we have some we have some great people with us.
We're glad that everyone was here tonight. We're glad when you come watch our videos, whether it's myself, Dave, Ron, anyone else in the community, RJL, Sports Time Machine, Bleacher Gum, anyone. I can go on and on and on. We appreciate your time, and they appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thank you, Uncle Dave, for having me on.
Yep. And he's right. It feels good when you can help someone. It does,
Yes, it
does.
does.
And we all get tons of grief for what we do. I don't think it's warranted because we are just trying to help people, entertain people, and we're not making money at this. And we do take a beating. It's the internet. And we know it, and we still try to put on a nice face and do this.
Yes, we do.
So, but we still get the good emails. We get the good emails too. That
We
says,
do.
hey,
I do get nice stuff.
Yep.
We get other stuff too. When you have to explain to someone. Okay, last thing. I swear to God. Have you ever gotten where someone goes, "I thought this was a real"? Again, they're trolling, but
Ron used to get those, and now he changes how he puts his titles, and I do that too. I'm like, using this game, Apple Hockey, Strat Hockey,
now too, but
because you never can say this is going to be the '77 Bruins versus Canadians hockey game because someone will find it thinking they're going to watch the game.
Yeah, then you get a really nasty gram.
Well, every once in a while, I'll get one that someone said, this is stupid. And I'm like, well, have you tried it? Have you tried playing it? Yes, if you're coming from PlayStation 4, cards and dice is stupid. I will give you that, because it's completely different. It's a whole different animal.
It's different. I again, if they think it's stupid, whatever.
But once you play it, though, for me, when I played that first game of Strat Hockey, I couldn't believe that these little pieces of paper and this dice could make me feel like I was doing a hockey game.
Again, I'm just going to use Glory Days Boxing, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You pick up this, I can do any matchup. I'm Barnum and Bailey. I am the ringmaster. I can do whatever I want and have fun. And that's what it's about in our community.
Yep, and it's about playing the teams and the players you want because when you buy the newest video game, you're playing the last season or the current season, and it just for people like me who don't follow it that well,
not fun.
Yep. So anyway, Al, thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank you, Uncle Dave.
And everybody that tuned in, thank you so much. We will definitely do this again, whether on my channel or Al's channel. We'll be definitely getting more chats in as we get this thing going. New Digital to Dice dropped yesterday. Today's
97?
Saturday. Well, today's actually it's Sunday now, but it's kind of Saturday still. We talked about
when you're playing a game.
Oh yeah, when you're playing a sport that you're not familiar with.
Right. So that's like sort of say me with hockey. I mean, I'm familiar with hockey, but that's it was very good, excellent, well done.
Yeah, and because I was talking Ron about playing basketball, but I don't know which basketball game to get because I don't know the basketball. And we were talking a little bit about golf. I was like, why would you play this golfer? I don't know. I just wanted to play golf, so.
And like C&D TV, he says it. That's Tony Porter. He says feels good when you help someone. It does.
It does when someone's like, hey, thanks for doing this, and you've helped me learn a game, and I still go to YouTube to learn all my games. I do. I go there all the time, and it's like no matter what game it is, and I like to see somebody play it, and sometimes you just watch somebody play it, and that really helps out too. So, yep, it is. But it's still sometimes it's still fun just to play. and not have to teach and just play the thing and just, sit back and enjoy that too. So, but anyway, hey, so again, we've thanked you 1,000 times and thanked everybody here. So we're going to really, really, really sign
For
off.
real. We're going away.
It's like the Ozzy Osbourne. It's the final tour.
This is the final goodbye. Possibly.
It is.
It is. Until next time, folks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.